Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 221. It is Saturday, October 12th, the day of Wrestledream, which we will include in our discussion today. We'll preview that. We will talk about AEW Dynamite in depth. We'll talk about NXT. We'll talk about Raw. We'll recap quickly, right? Bad Blood from last week. It's not a lot recapable, to be frank, from that show. Anything you want to find, there's always timestamps. You can go right to anything you prefer. Usually start out just talking about whatever our week was this week, which wasn't super eventful for me. You've been sort of fighting an illness, right?
A little bit.
So hopefully you sound okay for this. And
I should by now.
You should by now. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian listeners. It is Thanksgiving. I actually pretty much forgot that it's just been such a bit of a weird week. Really busy with coaching two teams at once and working, and the week kind of flew by. And then I realized, when you forget it's a long weekend and then people remind you.
I forget because I'm going to be just doing work anyways.
Yeah, you're working, although not on the holiday Monday, which is where you would get the big money, right? The time and a half. So not a lot planned for us because it kind of snuck up on us. We are having a dinner at your aunt's place about just under an hour away probably. So you're not there for that tomorrow, but we are. We'll try and bring you back some turkey and goodness. Is she making mac and cheese for you?
I hope not.
Why? What's your problem with her mac and cheese? Go ahead.
Velveeta.
Go in your rant. Velveeta, why? What's wrong with Velveeta?
I don't like eating blocks of rubber.
It might actually have been talked about on this show already.
I guarantee we have because it's traumatizing.
It's traumatizing. So yeah, I'm trying another new audio setup today, so hopefully everything sounds okay. And I do have a mute button for you if you feel like you're going to cough, if you need to.
Cough's not as bad today. It's I think it was it was the day I was working on Thursday.
And you've just been a fight and a headache and whatnot, so.
Yeah, yesterday was a pain.
Fall weather settled in. That's kind of nice, right? The heat wave seems to be over. Pool's closed. Sad face.
I would gladly suffer a headache to watch Takeshita win.
Yes, that's the plan, right? Looking forward to Wrestledream. We'll talk about some of the builds being a little bit lackluster, but the card should be. And as I was just sort of looking over my predictions and stuff for it, it doesn't seem too difficult to make predictions for most of it, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, if only there was some way I'd telegraph some of my picks.
Yeah, right. I wonder who you're picking in a couple matches, but we will get there. I don't know, anything else you wanted to discuss? We talked about your Halloween haunt trip already, right?
Yeah. Oh, I ordered Takeshita yesterday.
You did? You off of what?
Ringside. Because that's the way I can get it probably more easily because his other figure, I guess, which will technically be his first since it's coming out now-ish, is one of the chases in the AEW series. Now they do this thing with the chases where instead of the rare ones being variants of figures from the set, usually it's the other chase or the rare one, whichever is which, is a different version of Orange Cassidy because the standard one's the black look he had, and then the other one's a blue one with an arm sling. And anyway, so that's the one, and then Takesha's the other chase, and there's no regular version of him.
Okay.
So that's going to be extremely difficult to get, especially for someone who's never seen a chase in the wild to save his life.
And you're looking forward to, because we're going to head stateside for a couple days in a couple weeks, so you're hoping to.
That would be the dream if I could find the Takeshita there. But right. I did order the ringside one as a failsafe. And so in the next month or so, I should get him. And I've also had Switchblade on pre-order for. That one I basically got instantly. I don't know why I didn't get the Takeshita sooner, but probably just money.
Switchblade, who's back in action this week, right?
That is true.
Against a tough opponent.
Cody Chun,
who I just saw. I think it was on that Roseland show I was watching. And I think he was in a multi-person match or a big tag match or something. And I actually liked the match. And I thought he was pretty good too. It was just weird. You've never seen a guy in your life and then you suddenly see him twice in 2 weeks.
And on national TV.
And on national TV for the second one for sure. So I don't know. I don't really have anything else to discuss. So do you just want to dive into wrestling and get this party started? Okay, we're going to do that now. First segment is always the same. We're going to take a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so most weeks when I cover the ratings, I feel like it's kind of pointless because there's not a lot interesting going on there. But I always do it just in case because I thought this week was actually quite interesting because we talked about NXT had huge ratings last week, right? And we were like, will they be able to maintain it, et cetera, et cetera?
This is their other one on the road, though, so I would even wager it's more, will they continue that as they go back to their regular day-to-day kind of, Yeah,
we'll see. So they pretty much maintained in a huge rating again for them, 874,000 viewers, down just 2.4% from last week. and a 0.24 in the key demographic, down 7.7. So it's the second highest rating any show on the CW has done in 2024. So they are probably thrilled with this new
I was just
arrangement.
watching some weird video about how weird the NWA deal is now. Like,
yeah,
they're dead, as if they weren't already, but like
they're on life support for sure, if not dead. And then we got Title Tuesday, somewhat ironically named, because was there a lot of titles on the line?
they're Monet's titles, and then I guess the main event was all champions.
I guess. So these numbers are terrible. They moved to Tuesday. They moved to an hour later, right? So 329,000 viewers, down 51.6%, and a 0.10 in the key demographic, down 50%. So both are the lowest in AEW history. But not only were they on a Tuesday, not only an hour later, head-to-head with NXT in its first hour.
Well, no, that would be NXT's second hour.
Oh, sorry, second hour.
Which was also the Orton whatnot, and like...
Yeah, sorry, NXT's first hour, right?
Yeah.
And their second hour. Also competition from... Is that right?
No, it'd be NXT's second hour and their first hour because they started an hour late.
Right. And then MLB playoffs as well as the NHL season starting. So lots of competition. And generally when these shows move from their normal date and time, they're going to experience a huge drop-off anyways.
That's why AEW moved to TBS, remember? Because on TNT, they constantly had to do
jump around for NBA and stuff, right? Yeah. If I remember correctly. So still terrible numbers, and I'm not trying to defend what they got, but there are some reasons for that. So very low numbers.
Makes it a little defendable.
For sure. What do you have?
Breaking news, Wrestledream leaks and Takeshita won the title? What?
No, it's not. Hasn't started yet, people.
Luchasaurus is reportedly getting better after being hospitalized with pneumonia in his lungs. Apparently, like, was days away from some damage.
Like his wife found him passed out. His oxygen levels were really low.
Yeah, he's been on oxygen. I don't think he's back at the gym yet, but...
No, and they're fearing, like, possible permanent damage, right? So hopefully he's okay. Speedy recovery.
Because I love Luchasaurus.
We enjoy Luchasaurus.
Not only that, but I think he was on the cusp of, like, that angle with Christian. So I really hope he's able to get back and do that, because I always love Luchasaurus.
And we've always felt like he's kind of underused, right?
Oh, for sure. I do miss Jurassic Express a bit. They're a really good team.
They were fun.
Honestly, I would have just kept them together, but I always love Luchasaurus. He's a unique big man, and I think that's something, especially when we don't have Keith Lee around or guys like that. So
true. Where
guys like, well, remember he has more health issues or whatever. Like he's got a plethora of problems. So like guys like Cage or Luchasaurus, you can do kind of some crazy acrobatics for a big dude. It's like he's cool. So
he is hopefully cool. So hopefully he gets well.
Yeah.
So SmackDown news from yesterday. We've been talking about the machine guns are coming.
Yeah.
They're going straight to main roster apparently. So there was a vignette, I didn't see it, featuring cars, helicopters, and Detroit, Michigan was shown. So even flashed the letters MCMG because there was questions about, do they keep their name? Who are they now? Like they're keeping their individual names, I've heard, but I don't know about the team name. So,
and apparently they're going to face Legado next week, which is Garza and Humberto.
Oh yeah, so they're debuting next week in on SmackDown in Colombia. So I don't think I'll watch it, but maybe I will. I don't know. I'm curious to see how they're presented. Right.
I might make an effort, but I also might not.
Definitely not in their prime. Definitely too small to do a singles run. Company doesn't really care about tag teams, so a little bit nervous about how this goes.
SmackDown's tag ranks isn't horrible because they got... Well, I saw someone post it was like Machine Guns.
You have to get to
DIY.
Machine Guns Fraxium somehow.
Machine Guns DIY is now
as well
on the table.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fraxium, that's a long ways away unless like Machine Guns make an NXT appearance, which is fully possible in this day and age.
For sure.
With how NXT operates. So yeah, I would love if you could book Machine Guns DIY and a PLE, and I know that's like a pipe dream because not only is that a tag match, but it's not even for the titles, which never make it on the shows anyways.
And I also... not sure the average WWE fan is as excited about that as we would be, right?
I feel like there's a lot of people who would want that.
We're like work rate fans or whatever, and I don't know if a lot of WWE fans are.
I really wish Machine Guns had come in during the Black and Gold because that would have been bananas.
That'd be amazing. And again, if we can find a way to get them down to NXT to face Fraxium in some way, that would be a match I would be
necessary
looking to see. I only think I have 3 or 4 more. Your turn. If you got something.
AJ Styles did suffer a mid-foot ligament sprain, so he is legitimately out. And he's said to be mad about that, which can't blame him. Just came back.
Yeah, no kidding.
After like the Cody feud and then back out.
That was my next story too. And so he started out reporting, oh no, it was a work, right? Like the rumors
it was speculated to be work.
Yeah, and now they are reporting that he is out for a bit. So
I don't know how bad that is. But
I don't
that
either.
Still sucks.
I don't know anything, but I feel like that's one of those ones that could be lingering because it's in your foot and you're walking, and he does a lot of jumping and landing. So I feel like it could linger. He's going to have to.
Might start.
He is also my age, basically. Him, So
he's been going pretty well for a guy his age.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, it could be starting to come at him.
Yes. What did I have next? Bound for Glory update. I did watch most of TNA this week. I don't really have too many notes. I might cover a couple things in Highspots and Restholds later, but some matches that have been confirmed is Hardy's versus ABC versus Myers and Edwards. Go ahead, and what type of match?
Full Metal Mayhem.
Full Metal Mayhem. Not Mayhem, people. It is Mayhem. Shout out to good old Josh Matthews. My God, do I not miss him. Remember, he was part of the problem for me with that show. But anyways, so that is one. We also have Jordan Grace taking on Masha Slamovich. And was that not my match of the year a couple years ago, I think?
Something like that.
So I'm pretty excited about that one. I may check it out. And then Santana, these things all sort of shook out on the TV episode this week. Santana's taking on Moose in a grudge match, whatever grudge match means. Do you know what the grudge is? Does that mean no DQ, or is it just by TNA's rules? I don't know.
They have a grudge.
They have which is literally every match ever sort of thing, I guess. But anyways, that's what's happening on Bound for Glory, which is what their biggest show or one of the biggest. It's that one in Slammiversary, I forget.
I think it's this one.
So I'm most excited for Grace Masha out of those three. I'm not looking to see the Hardys in any capacity. But
definitely question the idea there.
But your turn. I got two more.
Jesse Ventura has signed a Legends deal.
Is it
merch?
Legends? Don't they call it something else now?
I don't think so.
No, they do. It's not called Legends deals anymore. I forget what it's called. I'd have to look it up, but they've changed the name of it. It sounds not quite as good, I think, but good for him, I guess. I don't know. Who really cares?
I would not. I like if they make figures of him. It's not. It doesn't move the needle for me whatsoever.
Did you hear who signed a new contract that is said to be quite lucrative in the women's division for WWE? Makes sense. Rhea Ripley. She's just turned 29, has just signed a 5-year deal.
Not even 30, damn.
Apparently with a considerable raise, which is a no-brainer. This is a star they've actually made, like a legit superstar that they have made in their company. So I'm not saying she didn't do anything anywhere else. She's not like she was an NIL person, but you know what I mean. She has risen to prominence with their company, so completely makes sense to lock her up for another 5 years because she's good, no doubt about it.
For sure. Jamie Jacobs has departed from AEW. He resigned after some burnout. I'm pretty sure he was a producer and or a writer.
Yes, I know. He's a backstage capacity, whatever it is.
So that's neat. He had Congo Kong and Impact.
Oh my God, I forgot about Congo Kong. That's amazing.
Against Johnny Impact.
I completely forgot about that. Last story I have, who's my favorite jobber, and did you hear about him?
Anthony Henry.
Anthony Henry. He is out for the foreseeable future.
That's so mean. He's my favorite jobber.
And I don't mean that insulting. I think he's better than a jobber. He should be doing more than he is. But the fact is, he is not. He is basically a jobber, correct? So
he's like your Tyler Russ, except Tyler Russ was never a jobber.
True. He tore his biceps in a match against Gabe Kidd at a Ring of Honor taping. Requires surgery, so that's no joke. He'll be out for months, I would guess. I don't really know.
Beef?
Not a doctor, but anyways, too bad for him. Oh yeah, he just got in for his cousin or whatever it is.
They're undefeated.
Are they? So that is it for news for me. Do you have anything else?
Rumors, speculation is Bobbert Lashley at Wrestledream because the swerves are turning, and that's a segment there. So,
and I'm hearing strong things about Shane McMahon as well, inserting himself in the Moxley Danielson situation.
If
I'm not happy,
Shane McMahon is revealed to be whatever in that storyline, that will be the greatest disappointment of the year. And I still haven't let go of that tag tournament.
Doesn't it feel possible, and partly because, and we started watching it, the documentary's out, so Shane is like in the news cycle right now. So that's what I'm starting to fear as you put the pieces together, right?
And it sucks because I love what they're doing
were
right
talking,
now.
And now, like, lots of Shane change. And now
there's
it's
a picture of him with the Bucks the one week.
Hot documentary out with him in it. So I feel similarly to you. This is not something I want, and I will be annoyed.
I'll be like furious because I love what they're doing right now.
I fear it's coming. Not to say that adding Shane can't be good. It's just I don't. It seems like a harder path to good if he's in there.
It's kind of an immediate pass for me.
I know. So I'm nervous, but we can hope. I'm sure if he's there, we'll have lots to say about it.
The sweat to usefulness ratio is like...
Sweat to usefulness? Yeah. It's not my favorite thing, but you can understand they're looking for any sort of... If they can pull anyone new into watching it, because Shane McMahon's... I don't think
they need to do this, though.
I don't either. You just signed a giant TV contract.
This is not the way to go. And
does Shane McMahon pop ratings?
Yeah and no, I feel like.
So my thing would be short term, maybe. Long term, no.
Long term, I feel like it'll be about as useful as Ric Flair.
Like, give him a couple weeks or a month or whatever, and it's like that. After that,
yeah.
What's the point?
I really don't want it to happen because it's like my favorite thing they're doing right now.
I know. So we'll see. Anyways, do you have anything else?
No, that's just gonna be.
It's alright. I just depressed you, didn't I?
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll hopefully cure your depression for a few minutes as we go into our most in-depth review every week, and that's taking a look at this past Wednesday night's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, so this was the go-home show for Wrestledream, right? So I was hoping for some big things. We'll see if anything of interest happened as you refresh my memory on what I watched on Dynamite this week. Go ahead.
So many people aren't going to know what's happening at Wrestledream because they didn't watch the show.
That's true. They're down like 350,000 people that normally watch it didn't watch it. So people are going to be clueless, but I assume those 350,000 are listening to us. So imagine. Can you imagine getting that many listens? That'd be crazy. Anyways, go ahead. Tell me about it.
No, was there no intro? I feel like they haven't done an intro in a while.
No, they were straight to Moxley, right? I think.
Yeah, I feel like they haven't done their intro in a hot minute.
It's like when the shows we watch, they get too action packed or too comedy packed. So they we've been watching New Girl and they.
Well, now that's just their intro nothing. Now.
Yeah.
Now it's just they always had. But in like the early seasons back when they actually had the intro with Zoe Deschanel, they always kind of straddled the line between a really short one or the usual long one. It was like...
But then it's just got too packed with comedy goodness to have that.
The Office also did that, I know.
Seinfeld did that.
But I feel like The Office did the short intro less, though. New Girl does it a lot, and then like something like Superstore just always had
the same
one. Now that's kind of what New Girl's reached for us in like the 5th season or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, Moxley said this is the real world and nothing lasts forever, much like our happy AEW pre-McMahon. Moxley
pre-McMahon implies he's coming. Okay, we don't know that yet, so don't even say that.
I would never think the best.
No, that's true. That's not your style.
Moxley said on Saturday, everyone will see the truth, which could be Shane McMahon. Moxley said when you prove that American Dragon, it will be terrifying, and claimed that Bryan will not be comfortable with that part of himself. He said Danielson will embrace his dark side and Moxley will be ready because he has to be and he has no choice. He says what he stands for is Shane McMahon, and it is too powerful. Moxley said he would run into the mouth of war on Saturday night and beyond. So he warned Danielson to run while he still can. He hopes Danielson will one day understand it has to be this way, and he made it clear the stakes are too high.
Yeah, so obviously always solid work by Moxley on the mic. He's super confident and determined. For whatever reason, he feels that they need to get rid of Danielson so that they can bring their vision of AEW into reality, which we haven't really been shown what that vision is yet, right? But
I mean, we kind of have with their private party dealings,
I guess. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was good work by him. He again always finds a way to put over the other guy. So this time he was focusing on putting over Danielson's dark side, right? So he's kind of expecting Danielson to go to a place he doesn't often go to, and Moxley has to be ready for that. Makes sense. I'm still finding it interesting because Mox is now just crazy and fixated on Danielson, right? So, and I know some criticism might be like, well, Moxley's been gone for however long and he's walking right into a title shot, but
he's the franchise player.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're going to take one person other than maybe Kenny Omega who can just walk into a title shot,
it's Moxley.
So I don't have a problem with that. This is not Emi Sakura walking into a title shot that we'll talk about later. So I don't really have a problem with that, and I thought Mox was good here.
And I feel like they set up kind of teasing his business with Darby Allin, and at least he beat Darby Allin for this.
Right.
It's like...
That's a good point.
It's not like he walked in
who was
and
the contender, and he beat him.
Yeah, and he's not like he walked in and was gunning for Danielson right away. He was, but he kind of had to do work
plan to get there, I guess. Yeah.
Well, he did try to walk in, and he tried to not wrestle Darby.
True.
But I love this from Mox again. His point of view again works so well, just because like you can kind of see how it's understandable, but it's not justifying what he's doing. And I like the angle that he feels it's necessary and that he has to do this, and that not necessarily that he wants to do it to Danielson, but like it's a necessity for whatever reason.
Because Danielson was sort of the one holding them back from their purest form of whatever they're going for, I guess, right?
I guess like the bully Blackpool, or
which I'm cool with.
Not even that, but like forging new stars.
Yes.
Through bullying.
Through destroying them somehow.
Breaking their hands with hammers.
Yes, exactly.
Hammering them. Then we get Bryan Danielson promo to follow up. He says Claudio said this would be his last time in match. He says that's not true. I hopefully beg to differ, but he said he and Yuto will run through Pac and Claudio tonight. He says Mox doesn't know what's coming at Wrestledream, and he supported him through every promotion for 20 years. But at Wrestledream, he'll kick his head in. And I thought the quality follow up, it wasn't a lot, but I thought he sounded good. He was fired up.
Yep.
Then we hear from Darby Allin. He comes out and he calls out Brody King since Brody King took his open challenge for Wrestledream.
I had Danielson in between there.
No, Danielson was before.
What do you mean, before what?
Darby.
I know. And didn't you just say go to right to Darby?
I just talked about Danielson.
Oh, I thought he was good too. Sorry, I missed something there. Fiddling with audio and video production.
King came out, and then Darby said he was excited that King answered the challenge. He recalled when they would say in crackhead hotels, talking about how one day they hoped to end up on TV so that'd be worth it. You remember when King was nervous having his first child? He recalled how King was in ROH and it folded, and he called Tony Khan to hire Brody King, who had 2 kids. He said because of AEW, they had their dads retire and they could buy homes for them or whatever and be themselves and work for Shane McMahon.
Hopefully not.
And Alan claimed he's the face of the company because of AEW. He's made it. I'd argue it's Moxley, but I'm not going to steal his thunder. King said Alan has everything he wants, but he said he doesn't take it for granted. He says, we know Alan has a death wish, so what happens when he climbs Mount Everest and dies up there? He said Alan's dad would have to go back to getting a job while AEW would lose its face. Then Alan kind of got fired up and told King to put him out of his misery, and he sat in the corner trying to get King to do the cannonball thing. King told him to get back up. Alan slapped him. King grabs him in a sleeper. Darby Allin hits him with a rock.
Big old rock.
Just as you do.
Yeah, as one does.
Then security breaks this up.
Yeah, so the match initially kind of feels random out of the blue, right? But
they do have history, though.
Yes, and the dynamic between the two will be awesome. It's one guy who is a believable killer and another guy who's super believable getting killed, right? So I'm looking forward to it. The whole, we used to travel the road together on the indies is kind of a cheap thing to use, but I have no problem with it here. We got and some character development for King too, like he's a human being with a family and having normal concerns.
Just likes goth paint and tattoos,
right? So, and I like that because Darby was talking about we're similar because neither of us take this for granted, and I really like Brody King's point about
I also
you do take it for granted because somebody who doesn't take it for granted doesn't go out and risk their life all the time in their hobbies and stuff, right? Like, if you're not taking this job for granted, it means you're protecting it and trying to keep it at all costs, not going out and doing things and risking your career. So I really liked how he flipped that around to no, we're not the same. You do take it for granted because of your stupid death wish, right? And then Darby, instead of trying to deny it, leans into it and goes, yeah, come hit me with your big move right now. Go ahead. I don't care. So, and Darby just sounds really comfortable and confident now in this character. Yeah, it's a big leap from where he started, right?
For sure.
So I thought this was bad. I thought the front of this show was my favorite stuff, and this I thought was quite good.
Yeah, and I think the "I Want Your Spot" story is simple, but it worked wonders as that's where we started with Hangman Swerve at Wrestledream last year. So it works here, and they already have a fair amount of history in AEW alone, as they showed, and they kind of elaborated on pre-AEW history, which is smart to add. And I agree. I thought King made a solid point. I thought that was really interesting. And I think it's unlikely King wins, but that would be nice for him.
We'll get there in the preview. I might take a shot on this one.
Of course you would.
I might. I love me some Brody King.
You do.
And no, I'll save that for later. I won't. I was about to give my rationale away now, but I'll save it. So keep going.
Then we get a Jake Roberts, Lance Archer interview. Callis comes in, and he's doing a talent swap with
When was
Jake
the last
Roberts.
time we saw Jake? Has it been a while, right? Okay. I'm like, if you were going to go, yeah, 2 weeks ago we did this.
I feel like we've seen Archer more recently, and
Fair.
he just pops up to lose.
Yes.
Archer's with Callis, and Roberts is going to get some talent too. This is very random and very odd. If I'm Callis, why would I want Lance Archer?
That's my first note.
He's the Murder Hawk choke artist.
This makes Callis look stupid. So much effort and expense, apparently, to land Archer.
I guess like Callis likes the big intimidating guys, kind of like Hobbs or something.
I guess.
And I said to you, maybe he's trying to change Archer because Takeshita lost a lot before he got with Callis too. But that's also Takeshita.
And Callis has been flipping between like super heel and not so much and almost face that I'm not even sure where he is on the spectrum.
I feel like
right
they
now.
kind of went back to where we want
They
later
did.
on. And I really like that. So I'll talk about that later. But I'm not thrilled about this either because I don't dislike Archer. But I'm just not the biggest fan of him,
No.
honestly. I used to like him more, I think, because I thought he was kind of cool. But the more like he just loses and kind of doesn't really do things, I'm like, I don't really care.
We
And,
need
like,
a credible monster for someone to beat, so dust off Archer and then put
and
him
he's
back.
not as cool of a big man as like Luchasaurus
No, I
or
agree.
Cage or something. So I would like to maybe just chuck Archer on ROH or something and not do this.
I did like Callis using the word. He said like it's time to go start the indoctrination or whatever. So I kind of like that he's like not even hiding that. Yeah, that's his goal is to like brainwash people basically.
And much like WWE did this angle many years ago, I posed the question, where's Trent?
Where is Trent? He's gone. And then I guess we're supposed to wonder for a little bit who Jake's getting in return, but they don't leave
I
us.
think Jake definitely won out.
They don't leave us wondering for long anyways.
No, he definitely won this exchange. if
Seems
there's-
like it to me as well.
But yeah, I've been asking for a couple weeks now, where is Trent? Did he just die?
Hey, careful. We have killed people before. So
That'll either will something in existence. Either he comes back
or we find out he is dead.
dies.
Or almost dead or whatever it is. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Trent.
Me either.
It's like they heard us talk about like, oh, I'm not sure what he's gonna do after Orange Cassidy, so they're just like, oh, nothing.
Nothing. Great question, FNS. He's doing nothing. He's gone.
Will Washington.
Will Washington, our
Where's
boy.
he at?
Where's he at?
Daniel Garcia interview next as he's arriving in the arena. Renee asked him what's next or what he's doing or something like that. Garcia says he'd love to answer right now, but he owes it to everyone to tell them himself. This is useless.
Yeah, it was just, I'll tell you later.
We could have
Okay.
just had the segment later and
Yeah.
like not really any prelude because like it doesn't change the segment.
It's just
at
to
all.
build like, oh, everyone wants to know, and he's gonna tell us all a bit later.
It's not like
Cool.
it's not like I could totally see where it's going.
No,
at all.
not at all. It's like you have time on national TV to say you're not signed with that company.
Hey
Like,
guys, I'm
they're-
going to NXT.
They're like, okay, Garcia, you're gonna head out there and tell them you're leaving the company. Go. Okay.
I
But
get
it.
I don't know if he was in the first hour or the second hour. I want to say he was in the first hour. While they're overlapping with NXT, she's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to the CW."
Right, exactly. See you next week on Tuesday. Or whatever.
So now, like the 300,000 people that are left on Dynamite this week
the
are like,
300,000.
"Oh, he's going there.
Yeah.
That'll put butts in seats." And
That's
then,
right. And then next week CW's over 1 million, and AEW's at like 29,000. It was all Garcia. It was that Garcia bump.
well, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been told. Then we get Hologram versus Commander. I think I want to say it's Dynamite debut for Mr. Tony Khan Dream.
Apparently, it's like his childhood creation or something.
Yeah.
So, was this out of nowhere, or was this
Yeah.
built on a show we don't watch? Just random?
I'm almost positive it's in service of the post match.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also just because Lucha stuff fun to watch.
Might have been my match of the night.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead and talk about it.
There's that crazy suicide dive from Hologram where like
Looked awesome.
it's like he was gonna land high, but like Commander caught him and he kind of like went like a cruise missile into the barricade. I don't know.
And like the amount he stayed horizontal with his head in Commander's chest, right, as Commander sort of walks back, it looked awesome, I thought.
It looked really cool. And it's at this moment I may come to the realization I hate Hologram's mask.
Yeah, and I was getting annoyed by commentary hammering the winning streak of Hologram. Like, I get you need to let us know because we don't see him, but my God, they mentioned it a lot.
Yeah, he's been like, I think almost exclusively on Collision. I think he had like a Rampage match or two.
Which Collision isn't on in Canada, by the way, so we have no option but to like find it, and we don't.
And I don't.
Right.
And I really don't
and
like
I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to mute.
Which is why when the C2 comes around, I really hope Takesha's not in the blue league.
We'll see. Yes, that would be that means we'd go find it probably.
That means I would, but I just don't I don't want to do the work.
I'm the one that does the work. What are you talking about?
Well,
I'd be like, "Hey Jack, I'm putting it on," and you show up. Is that hard work? You walk downstairs and sit your butt on the couch.
Still a hassle.
Okay.
There's a wacky Hurricanrana from the ropes from Commander, followed by a rope step tope to the outside. He does his rope walk, but Commander hops up to the top rope to beat him. Goes for like a super Hurricanrana, but Commander counters midair to a powerbomb for 2.
You sound congested, poor guy.
I know, my throat keeps going
it's okay.
And I'm trying to not, and it's very annoying. Commander reverses off of Hologram's shoulder into a he's set up for a power slave kata. He goes into a poison rana. Hologram comes back with a running poison rana. And then Hologram wins with I think his Fisher's UFO spit into a blue thunder bomb.
He spins him for a long time.
Then after he gets jumped by LFI, and it's Roosh, Drolistico, and Mortos, and they're Jake Roberts'
Jake's new faction. So that is the big news coming out of this. I thought the match got really fun, and the crowd got super into it. But to me, I almost thought it was more of a showcase for Commander. I felt he did more.
I think Hologram's cool, and he does some cool stuff, but I don't think he's
the gimmick
overly...
is not...
The gimmick's not great, and he's not overly impressive in a company where we have Pac, Ospreay,
Agree.
Ricochet, Sammy Guevara even.
Yes, you're right.
Mordos.
This isn't only tiny little guys in masks do this stuff. We have bigger, unmasked.
Or just even crazier stuff. Ospreay does a standing corkscrew moonsault on a regular basis.
Yeah. So
Mordos does his corkscrew dive through
whereas
the ropes.
Commander has the whole I walk along the ropes, which other people aren't really doing, right?
That is true. That's at least something that Commander's kind of got locked.
I really like this match, especially for being super random. But
I did like Hologram's finisher. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought Commander showcased himself more here. But again, really liked it. And then
both of them are really cool. I thought it was a really fun, kind of exhibition.
Yeah, right? If you have to throw on something to get to the post-match stuff, it was a fun way to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
And so your thoughts on the new faction?
I really like that trio because Roosh is awesome. Mortis is awesome. Drolistico's good from what I've seen. I think his mask looks really sweet.
He does look cool.
Drolistico and Mortis would be a killer-looking tag team just visually alone. I really like them as a group.
I just feel it's upper mid-card ceiling, which is too bad because I think Roosh is better than that. I don't think Mordos will ever
Roosh's ceiling is probably upper mid-card in AEW. I don't see him ever getting to world title.
And Mordos we love, but he's not a main event character.
No, but if this gets prominence for him, I am more than happy with that.
But you could go Mordos and Drolistico as a tag offering.
Absolutely.
And Roosh as the singles guy who can be in the running for everything below the main title. Thing.
Yeah. I'd put Roosh back in the C2 because that did wonders for him last year, I think.
Yeah,
right?
the weak link for me is kind of Jake. He doesn't do a lot for me.
And he doesn't really need to talk for them.
No, not...
he could.
Mordos doesn't talk. I don't know about Drolistico.
Roosh
is fine.
Okay.
Someone could use a mouthpiece.
Someone needs to talk for them. Maybe not Jake.
Right. Agree. But yeah, I'm open to it, right? I don't have any designs on this being they're on every week and this is a main event group. But I'm okay with
I'd even like them in the trios division at least.
Yeah.
Because that division needs stuff.
Yeah. Again, tag division, trios division being underserved. Very much so.
Yeah. Morrison Drolistico's sweet mask. Hologram does not. I was saying to you, it reminds me of Randy Orton's burn victim mask. And that's not.
It's not a compliment.
It looks like the way the eyes and mouth are shaped, it looks like when you have bandages wrapped around your face after you get in a horrible accident.
Right.
I just really don't like
when Dwight is on The Office trying to get the job as
something like that
manager.
And I just it just doesn't look like a cool luchador mask.
Does it look like a young child designed it? Because maybe that's straight from Tony Khan's childhood notebook or something.
Because Drolistico's mask is very cool. He looks like demonic Sin Cara, and I love it.
Who was the guy?
And Mordos
when
is
I was
obviously
reviewing ROH by myself, there was another guy in a cool mask. And remember,
Flamita?
he was definitely taking his vitamins.
Flamita, wasn't it?
And got super huge quickly.
Was it Flamita or Ray Horace?
It was
Flamita Dark,
I think. Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
I want to see what his mask looked like because I remember.
I enjoyed them.
Let's see.
And
he does have pretty cool. You know who always looks sick was he actually kind of reminds me of him is Drago.
Yes, Drago's stuff is and the tongue is always amazing.
That was always the coolest part. I
don't even get how he does that, to be honest.
No, or obviously Penta.
Remember we saw him at an indie show? Drago and
that was one of the Smash shows, wasn't it? Or no, was it GCW?
I think it was Smash because we were.
It was him, and wasn't it like? It wasn't Aramis.
No, but there was somebody else with him.
Oh,
you're right.
It was him and like Aerostar against someone.
It was
remember?
Aerostar, and they were looking older and heavier.
Yeah, for sure.
And not so much on their cycles of vitamins.
Speaking of Aramis, that's hologram.
Correct.
I believe. Anyways, this was solid. Next we get Mark Briscoe interview. He said Jericho messed up by mentioning Jay, and he said Wrestledream is not even about the title. He's gonna hurt him. Yep. Not the typical Mark Briscoe promo, but I really loved it. Like he was just serious and clearly like affected by what Jericho said.
Right.
And so I really liked how he sold that, and I thought it was a really nice change of pace.
And yes, mentioning the dead brother is cheap, but it also is an effective way to get Mark to snap out of this. I'm a comedy given crazy 80s style promos to like, no, now you got my attention. And that's a bad thing because I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah,
right?
so I really like the
that's
change of
simple
pace.
And effective too.
For sure. Then we hear from Daniel Garcia. He said it's great feeling the energy of the fans. He mentions he's been home for a while. It's good to be back. He doesn't want to be a guy who disappears with no explanation. And he's going to let us know what he's going to do. He wants to...
I'm leaving, guys. See you later.
Yeah. See you on the CW.
I'm out.
Tune on the CW, 8 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
On
and
Tuesdays.
Then he just runs because they're like security's trying to tackle him. That'd be fun.
Somehow Renee didn't get the memo, so she just like let him into the building.
The forbidden door is open.
He said he's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. And he said it's only right that he stays where the best wrestle, which is here. It's a new era for him, and it's going to be new him, and he's warning all the champions because they have belts, and he's a guy who likes belts. This was fine. I thought he sounded solid, but this didn't do a lot for me. One, I figured he was staying with AEW, so that reveal wasn't interesting or surprising. Not even that I figured that he was staying before this, which I did, but also even just the way he's like, oh, I don't want to leave you guys without, like, you know where that's going.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be like, I don't want to leave you guys without explaining, so I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know? And it feels like the 100th time he's promising new Daniel Garcia and that he's coming for a title. Like, literally a couple months ago, wasn't he coming for Ospreay's title, then he lost, and then MJF turned heel on him? Like, where's MJF? He can come for titles all he wants, but he's never gotten any. And I feel he's just also lacking something as a character. Like, I do like Daniel Garcia, but, like, at the same time, I just can't.
So my last line of my analysis says, he's good and all, but we've been conditioned not to care about him.
I think that's it.
Right? Like, it's just kind of like we've been here 6-7 times where they're like, oh, they're giving him some attention and he's really good in the ring, so here we go. And then it's like, nope, brakes are on.
Yeah, he's good. I just don't care. I would like for him to join the new Blackpool. He'd be a lot cooler as a heel.
They should have pulled the trigger on that when they teased it.
That was such a mistake.
That was the fit, right?
Remember he turned heel again, or like he turned on Danielson when we were there, the first Toronto Dynamite, I think it was.
I thought he sounded rough in this promo. I thought it was kind of like awkward and whatever until he revealed the decision, and then once he got focused on,
it'd get better. Yeah,
I thought it was a lot better. But exactly what you're saying is how I feel. Like, so what, right? We've done this.
Yeah, it's not a bad promo. It just lacks substance.
It stops and starts with him. So I don't know. Like, cool if they actually commit to this because we do like him, or at least want to like him, right? But AEW's made it hard because they're like, just when you want to get on board with him, we're going to stop paying attention to him.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Very stop-start.
Yes.
Swerve promo package. It's just a workout montage with match highlights and MVP sound bites from the previous promos. EJ and Duca shows up multiple times while Swerve's working out. So it makes me question if he's maybe involved in this Hurt Syndicate group.
Right, because he was kind of there as like the trainer of...
And he's black.
And he is also of the same race, so they may lump them all together because wrestling seems to have a problem with that.
This could be cool. It's just... that's what wrestling does.
Did you hear Triple H is taking heat for he got specifically questioned in the press conference about why you don't have more black?
And he doesn't see, whatever.
You
see, that's also...
I don't see color, which is like...
Isn't that not the point? Remember that's the whole thing in The Office?
Yeah. It's,
right, with Michael?
It's not good. It's basically, it's very close to being the guy that goes, oh, but I have black friends, right? It's like... Anyways, I don't want to get into it too much.
Coincidentally, I also saw a news story that's exactly why Belair and them were hosting Bad Blood, because there you go.
Saying that you don't see color is not a good thing to say, right? For various reasons you can get into. I've heard lots of analysis on it. But yeah, that's not a thing somebody should say that's endearing to visible minorities, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, this Swerve stuff was really just a recap of MVP's offer and sort of what's going on.
The real
there.
substance will be at
correct
Wrestledream.
That's what I hear. He's making his return.
Lashley.
Maybe that too.
Lashes. I like calling him Lashes. Then we get Mercedes Moné interview. Everyone wants to jump on the money train, and Emi Sakura's old. That's what she said, and I didn't like her fake mean girl laugh.
No, man.
Nah.
I just love Emi Sakura. How in the hell does she get a title match? Moné is not good. I'm on that train now. In ring's different. I still haven't been blown away in ring. But her character work sucks, I think I can say at this point. Like, I've been trying to find...
Remember Renee said something like in her kind of voice before too, and immediately I went, no.
Yeah, because even as she was introducing or ramping up to start the interview, it was strange.
I immediately knew it was Moné too, but then I was like, it's not good.
She's just not... It's in a way that... And maybe she's doing it to generate heat, but it's more the go-away heat. Like, I just don't want this. I don't want to hear you talk.
I don't feel that strongly as you, but I just also don't really care.
Yeah.
Which is maybe worse. I don't know. Garcia's backstage. Everyone's like, "Yay, you're staying!" Woo!
Yeah, everyone's happy that this guy is staying.
Shibata does a translate promo saying he's glad Garcia's staying at Wrestledream. The TT title will be around the waist of the wrestler, so that's cool. Shibata is gonna give Garcia a title shot. He won't win.
Right.
At a belt that Shibata won't win.
I respect you, and you're next in line for a title I have no chance at winning.
And then if I feel. Even if Shibata did win the title, it's a title Garcia doesn't have a chance of winning.
Yeah, probably true.
So they're both not winning these hypothetical
and no offense to Shibata.
I love Shibata.
But your commitment to now making Garcia a star or whatever is to put him in a program with Shibata. Straight to the top.
I love Shibata.
As a first step, maybe, I guess you could say it's fine.
I love Shibata.
I do too, but...
They set up the TNT title match with Perry and Shibata the other week, and then I think they forgot to build it.
Right? The builds on Wrestledream are not strong. End result, product might be really good.
Some of them are, but
some are not. We'll get there.
But that may be okay, because that was kind of the all-out scenario.
It was, and we loved it. So
that was probably my favorite show of the year so far.
I think it's my front runner as well.
Absolutely. That's probably... It's a bold statement because I'd have to rewatch some older ones, but it's probably one of my favorite AEW pay-per-views. Like,
it was awesome.
At least from what I can remember, it's just one of the ones where I'm just like...
There were multiple plus 4-star, close to 5-star, right, for us?
I think probably one of the craziest matches I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, 4-way match for a women's title match at Wrestledream. They're doing the thing I didn't want them to do.
Speaking of random feeling, holy cow.
Well, so the deal with this is that it was supposed to be Willow and Baker, which makes sense because they've both been kind of winning matches lately.
But Baker's gone, throat.
So yeah, she's ill, and so we get replacement with Saraya. Yay! But then there's Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter.
Don't forget, Saraya's a package deal with Harley Cameron, who added a lot of entertainment unintentionally to this match. It's one of our favorite impromptu
we'll get
spots.
There.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed they're rushing into a women's title match at Wrestledream, and I'll talk about this later in my match thoughts and probably also my predictions.
And this was not hard to predict who wins this, especially when...
I think maybe Hayter was the next...
But then she disappears halfway through, so pretty obvious from that point.
Harley Cameron gets involved helping Saraya, and then now she's brawling with everyone like she's in the match. Nyla Rose dives onto the pile. Commentary talks about Storm and Mina being friends. May to Excalibur. You must be mistaken. Storm died at Wembley. Maybe the mask is cutting off oxygen.
She had some funny lines.
She had some really good
what
lines.
A couple of the other ones that made me chuckle.
There's one that you said to me, but I don't remember.
Me either.
But she's really great. Hayter with a double suplex to Willow and Rose. That's crazy. Pretty crazy.
Even if Willow and Rose are doing some of the lift, the pushing
you
there,
can't half-ass that.
Hayter's a beast.
Yeah.
Except she's an idiot in this context. But anyways, we'll get there.
Hayter takes out Harley and then goes out Saraya, and then Penelope Ford
attacks
Hayter from behind. She chases Ford to the back, and she's gone.
Yeah, so I'm going to give up a chance at
getting the title that I got injured for.
Right, to go chase Penelope Ford.
Kip
no
Sabian's
offense,
wife.
Penelope, you're kind of cool, but...
And so now...
So what's their history? Did Penelope injure her? Is that...
No.
Nothing?
My guess is that she's joining Saraya.
Or that, hey, Kip Sabian's on TV, so you can come too? I don't know. But yeah, like...
My guess is now the Outcasts are going to be Saraya, Harley Cameron, and Penelope Ford.
And we're big fans of Hayter, but she looks like a really dumb babyface here.
Dumb babyface.
So that leaves you, gee, I wonder who's winning this match out of Willow, Nyla Rose, and Saraya. Right? But anyways.
Nyla Rose only gets title shots when it's randomly on TV.
That's right.
Nyla Rose, actually, didn't she get the first shot at May? So she's already lost to her?
Yeah.
So.
Correct.
Case in point.
And we like Nyla, but...
I think she's all right, yeah. She's kind of the female Archer.
Yeah, she is. She's the monster that when they need one, they grab her and put her in.
She goes up top, but Harley shoves her off and on an apron. They look pretty solid. Outcast versus Table.
Oh,
it was a true war of attrition, and the table had to be set at ringside before Hardy slid it in. Table 1, Outcast 0.
And they like cut away because you could see as she goes to slide
the
it
legs
in,
kind of hanging out, so it's not gonna like
gets caught on the apron,
and they could not figure it out.
And then they cut away to like the crowd or something, and then they cut away to I think it was Nyla Rose lying on the floor, and then. So then I think it was Saraya had to like improvise a little bit in the ring until Cameron could figure... Cameron given Serious Velvet Sky vibes too, if anyone watched TNA back and other features as well. So yeah, they eventually got the table in, but we really enjoy wrestler versus table. Like if you were one of those people making a video, that's what you should find is like...
My favorite one was probably Mandy Rose versus Table at SummerSlam 2020.
It was epic. That table, that was like an Iron Woman match.
I think that was probably the first
with
one
the table.
I remember.
Yeah,
was Mandy Rose versus Table. That was like the loser leaves match with her and DeVille.
It seems the women have more trouble, and I don't know if it's just because the table. I'm not saying they aren't strong enough because they are, but like,
and maybe sometimes a lack of experience,
or
with
if
them
it's
as well.
just really big and cumbersome, right? And they're generally smaller, shorter arms, whatever. Maybe it's just harder to manipulate the table, but it was
it's
awesome.
one of my favorite things.
I really enjoyed it.
It makes you chuckle. Willow with the doctor bump to Harley because, you know, she's in the batch.
Yeah.
And then
she actually nailed it too.
She did. Saraya does like a poor roll up for 2.
Yeah.
Willow with the Death Valley driver to Saraya through the table in the corner. She gets the win.
That looked good.
May nails her with a headbutt after the match on the stage.
Mm-hmm. The match seemed random. The winner was clear, and then you got some sloppiness with whatever.
It was
Harley
definitely thrown
Cameron.
together, but like that was kind of not their fault, so I'll give them a pass. But it did feel messy and disjointed. I thought.
Did, and there was a couple cool moves at the end, like the bomb, the doctor bomb to Harley, and the table break went really well. So cool sequencer too, but not enough to make it feel worthwhile. Unfortunately, it was kind of there to just get us the number 1 contender, and
yeah,
that's it.
And I thought Harley Cameron's involvement was definitely too much. She was essentially like the 5th person here.
And she messed stuff up.
And a couple major slip-ups here, yeah. And then the latest battle in the war between wrestlers and tables, which I would put another check in the win column for tables.
Table 1 for sure.
Cool finishing spot, though. And I'm glad Willow won because her versus May is a great match on paper, and it should deliver.
But
I'm disappointed this means we don't have a build for it, really.
Yes.
Like, they kind of set it up in the last couple weeks, but even still, I was like, we need more time to, like, have a substantial build to it now.
Especially since, like, Mariah May's a really good actor and an awesome heel, and Willow's a fantastic babyface. This should be, like, there should be heat in this.
Absolutely. It should have been safe for full gear, in my opinion, even if it means no women's title matches on the pay-per-view on Wrestledream, which would suck, but it would benefit their match later on.
Build a women's story that's not around the title. Like we were saying they were doing with Statlander and Willow, right? Oh, it's finally we've got a women's story that's not just, I want the championship. But they can't seem to do that. So you end up with these hasty builds to what will probably be a good match, but should feel more important, I think.
Hayter being taken out too was lame.
Yes, really dumb.
Penelope Ford, I guess, yeah.
Welcome back, Penelope.
I hope Hayter gets a proper feud made out of light, because that could be awesome. The Saraya feud is a waste, and because Hayter kind of did technically lose the title, she never vacated it, but like it was kind of like she was injured, so remember she lost that quick match with Storm.
Yeah, that's right. Not my favorite match of the year, for sure. Followed up by our favorite faction having a segment.
Learning Tree backstage. They're trying to like call Rocky Romero lackey for the conglomeration and trying to like turn him or whatever. Big Bill says something dumb because Rocky Romero's a star. International star, to quote Chris Jericho.
Who looks about 5 feet tall beside these guys. He is shockingly small.
Jericho said that's the truth, and he thanks Rocky. Keith told him to respect Jericho, and Rocky says, or what? And Keith said, or else. This was boring. I can't say how much it just so teasing Rocky Romero turd. It just feels unnecessary. I hate Jericho so much, but man, do I hate Brian Keith and everything he says. The kid's ass character is so annoying. Like every time he speaks, I said, I hate you.
Yeah, you did. Rocky Romero's 5'8" listed,
there we go.
so probably means he's 5'6". Anyways, so last week, right, we got like 2 sentences of intense Jericho, and it sounded so much better. And he wasn't in full obnoxious like faux babyface mode here, so I wasn't quite as annoyed,
especially with Bill.
But why the hell would we care about Rocky Romero? Why would they care about Rocky Romero in a company full of talent like this?
Yes. Wouldn't it make more sense to chip away at Kyle O'Reilly since he was kind of...
somebody good. I don't know.
Not even that, but like, because remember there was the tease where he didn't get into the gauntlet or something with losing to Cassie in that match. So then it was like, he looked kind of frustrated. Like, that would be a better tease.
Yeah, I don't understand this. It's not interesting to me on any level at all. The only thing I liked in this is when Rocky took a step towards Jericho and the look Big Bill gave him was like, kind of like, what do you think you're doing? I'm standing right here and I'm humongous. I thought that was the highlight of this, but this is not something that needs to be on. This can go on Rampage, right? Or like, it's not a Dynamite.
Or not happen.
It's not a Dynamite faction. It's not a Dynamite segment. It's just filling time that could be used for something else.
Mm-hmm. Next we get Jay White versus Cody Choon.
Yeah, man.
Cody Choon.
Yep.
Big boy, big star. Mm-hmm. White is a solid theme, but nowhere near as good as Burn Daylight. I know it's a solo match, but it makes me sad when they don't do the spotlight entrance.
Jack Talks themes on the bingo card. Mark it off.
Specifically that one. And new gear on Switchblade.
Jack Talks gear on this episode. Put it on your bingo card.
Well, because like I feel like he goes through periods where he's using the same tights for a while. Like you had the black one with the gold logos, and then after Bang Bang Scissor, he had the one with the black with the gold logos with the white trim, and they had the white boots. And now he's got gray with black logos. And
this just isn't a gimmick for him, folks. I hadn't seen you in forever, so I went upstairs and you were up in the gaming room, I guess we'll call it. So I just sat on the couch and watched you build, I don't know how many outfits for Mello.
You can do
on 2K.
Each time you make like a custom attire that you have 2 slots. So
it was clear how often you've done it because how quickly you were cycling through and stuff and finding everything. I was like, oh my God, it's like lightning fast. It's clearly this is not the first time you've done this.
Especially with Mello, I really enjoy making gear for him right now. Just because, like,
and then I watched you make one and then completely delete it because you're like, oh, I remember what I wanted to do. So you like full on made his tights and then we're like, delete. I know what. Oh, I remember what. I'm like, what?
So, quick sidebar was the first one I made was because of Switchblade. I wanted to do a gray one with black logos, so I did that for Mello. And the second gear I wanted to do was because I just bought that Thrawn figure when I went to Walmart.
I saw that,
and so I wanted to do.
Although I didn't know quite who it was till I read the box. That's how good I am.
It's the guy from Ahsoka.
I know. Then I clued in.
I'm hoping maybe at American Walmart I could find there's the 2-pack where it's like one of the zombie troopers in Enoch. Remember they got the gold face?
Yeah, he's cool.
I want him. Anyways, I want to do one that was Thrawn, like so it'd be like white tights and then black kick pads and then like the knee pads I was gonna have them cut off at like half black to like replicate the look of tall boots.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did for the other one.
Nice.
But like I've done so many ones for Mello or Rollins is fun too because in his current character you can kind of make them somewhat ridiculous.
Yeah. So
for like a WrestleMania gear, I did like this Spartan Warrior looking one.
Cool.
I used Kalisto tights, and then they have like an actual
he had some
big
cool gear too.
Honkin' Spartan helmet. Yeah. So, anyways, I'd be doing stuff.
You do.
But yeah. So the Switchblade, I like kind of the muted gear here. It would have been cooler gear for when he was a heel, but I like the changing gear at least. Yep. I wanted to wear the white tights again. In AEW, he only wore them at All In last year.
We always like white gear.
Well, all white's good. It was the white with black, but the cool gear for him was the white with the red tally marks.
Yeah.
Or the red gear with the white logos is the figure I ordered.
Yes.
So that'll be really cool. Anyways,
Well, there you go. I just looked it up. It was the opening 3-way tag team title match on Roseland 9. It was Sinner and Saint, who I thought were cool and were on TNA this week.
I'm glad they're getting some prominence. I saw that.
They defeated Cody Chun and Guillermo Rosas, as well as Violence is Forever. So, which was Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini. So Koo's pretty cool too. That match was actually really cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, carry on.
Couple moves from Chun. He hit an inverted atomic drop and a single leg drop kick. Core chops from White, front turns and suplex and the turnbuckles. Absolutely drills the crap out of a Uranagi.
Oh, it looked amazing.
He just, I say it every time, but he just does it better than everyone else. And it's such a simple move, but the way he kind of, instead of throwing them front or down, he kind of he doesn't even do it like the spinning solo.
No.
But he is kind of turning over and he just kind of throws them over, but without turning himself over.
This one looked like he just...
And Chun landed higher, too.
Right on his back of his head and neck, and with it looking like White applying a ton of force.
He just looks like he actually throws them over, and it looks awesome. And like a hard Blade Runner. It was one of the flat cells, but it looked like he just drilled into the mat hard.
Yeah.
Post-match, White speaks. He talked about Hangman being one of two men who knocked him off his path to being the world champion, which I assume the other one has to be MJF, considering he lost that match. Mm-hmm. He said he meddled in Hangman's business, so Hangman's coming for him, and that's what he wants. He wants Hangman against Switchblade, and then he'll correct the wrong, which will be moving on to Gold. He said the same voices that booed him are now willing to exist him as an AEW World Champion, and it all starts with Hangman at Wrestledream. I thought it was a solid squash, not much to know other than him drilling his signature offense.
Yeah.
Post-match promo was customary quality from White. I will never, ever, ever prefer Bang Bang Gang as babyfaces, but White can nail a promo in his sleep. Hangman vs. Hangman has had a short build. However, unlike the women's title match, this has been set up by previous history. Not only do they have history, I think, from New Japan or from previous AEW matches, but even still, this stems from the Owen tourney this year. So there's previous work done, kind of like obviously to a lesser extent than Hangman Swerve, but kind of like that at All Out, where yes, it's a short build now, but a lot of legwork's already been done from previous instances, so it kind of can piggyback off of it.
But I feel like you're doing a better job of reminding us of that
now for sure
than they did, right?
Why
aren't they doing that?
It definitely varies for depending on the person who, and how deep your knowledge is, I guess.
How well you remember things, for me.
This doesn't need much though, and White sells it really well off the promo here because White's just dynamite on the mic. I always love his work, and I'm, as well documented, a huge fan of both him and Hangman, so I'm looking forward to this one. I don't love him working babyface here, but like I said, Jay White's a great pro wrestler, so I'm never gonna hate him.
Yeah, I thought this was just a simple momentum builder for Wild. Good for Cody Chun getting on TV on AEW. He's a talented guy. Like, I saw that tag match, I really liked it. Uranagi looked crazy. And yeah, just another program on Wrestledream that could have used a bit more effort and heat and like a couple more weeks or something, right?
Could we not have built this more instead of having Hangman go off to Jarrett?
And how about you cut off every learning tree segment and use that to build stuff for Wrestledream, right? Going forward. So anyways, the match will be awesome because White and Page are awesome, but again, the recurring theme, like the build's a little lacking for me.
Yeah. Then we get a Hook promo. He says he's done chasing whoever attacked Taz after a week. Last week, he found out about it, and then I think on Collision, he said he was going to come to Dynamite to call them out. He called them out here. Nothing really happened.
Typical younger generation, no perseverance. I'll go into boomer mode. I tried. It was hard. I quit.
He confronts Sabian, who walks by. He knows nothing. Christian comes by and asks if he's seen Sabian. Hook says no. Christian says they're both family men, and he lost Luchasaurus, and he sympathizes with Hook losing Taz. And after last week, somewhat subtle line from Christian, this makes me even more certain that he's responsible for the attack on Taz. Luchasaurus being out is unfortunate, but convenient for this. Makes me think they're using it to cover Taz, but also maybe fill in for Luchasaurus, at least temporarily. And I guess Hook could join them, but if it ends up being a feud, I find it to be an odd move for both Hook and Christian.
I agree. I thought the first part where Hook was almost cringy, man. It was really
wasn't great.
rough.
And I find it funny. My favorite part was I'll be here all night.
Yeah.
So what if the person doesn't walk by that hallway?
He's gonna be there,
and then we don't see him again.
So
is he still there, on Saturday, October 12th. Is he still there?
And he's like, I'm tired of looking for a week, so now I'm just going to stand here. And if that guy happens to walk by and go, hey, I'm the guy that attacked, like, how are you going to even know?
I imagine, let's say it is Kip Sabian, just for example.
How are you even going to know?
Let's say it is Kip Sabian. He walks by, he's like, hey, Hogan. Hook's like, sup? He's eating Doritos, and he's like, oh, I attacked your dad. And he just starts sprinting down the hall, and Hook chases him.
So this is how Hook looks for people. They come to him. And I guess Christian is the logical choice for the attacker because dads, right? You've lost your dad.
I guess that works for me.
So I'm not super interested in Hook, as I've talked about the last couple of weeks. Like he, the more I see of him, the more I'm like, yeah, okay. I think we kind of know what we have, and it's nothing that we need to focus on. But they're gonna try because
I'd go as far as say I think I was right in not being hyped when everyone else was losing their crap.
Possibly, yeah.
When Hook started. Mariah May interview. Before she can speak, Willow runs in and pounces her off screen, which I thought was awesome. Willow said she'll keep it short and sweet. She beat 3 former champs tonight. It disgusts me that Saraya's a former champion. And Willow's I keep forgetting.
All bloody and disheveled looking. I thought she looked cool. She usually looks so put together, right? And this was like she's wild
she's serious.
Looking.
She said she'll make May a former champion. She'll become the champion. Song report from Willow is short and she was fired up. It sucks this doesn't have a lot of build, but this was really cool.
I thought so too. Like the attack and then her quick kind of lack of composure for Willow and looking bloody and stuff. It looked cool for sure.
Absolutely. Mercedes Moné versus Emi Sakura for both of Moné's belts. I'm not saying all those words. 2 women's matches this week and neither of them are squashes.
That's crazy.
What?
Some might suggest this was more competitive than it needed to be, but
they're also both heels.
I
think Sakura's pretty solid.
I really like her.
Because it's so random, I wish they had chosen someone Moné could work heel off of.
I know. And I love Emi, but she does not deserve a title shot, right? So
no, but she always comes in for the open challenge. Like I guarantee she challenged Statlander when she had the belt.
Yeah, probably.
Or Julia Hart.
Because she's good. She has good matches, and I really like how loud she is in the ring and stuff too.
Did Julia Hart die?
Constantly making noise. I actually just saw a thing that they're talking about. She's not long from being back.
Somebody I don't even remember what happened to her. I just forgot about her.
She got hurt.
Cool.
Yeah.
Corner chops from Sakura. Moné does the same arm drag she's done every match ever since she got here. Meteor from the apron from Moné. You were starting to worry there wasn't going to be one. Sakura lifts Moné in a butterfly grip, drops her gut first on the barricade, and then she kind of hits like a running splash with Moné on the barricade. Barricade is interesting.
Yep.
Basement crossbody against the barricade to both Moné and Camille from Sakura. That looked awesome. Like the Brody King spot.
Speaking of which, Brody King is the one saying, I think we should be seeing her very soon. She's been dropping hints here and there.
Dropping hints on Collision?
Not, I guess, on things I don't see.
To him?
She was sidelined with a significant arm injury, required surgery, targeting late summer, early fall return.
I don't really care.
Could be Wrestledream return? I don't know.
That's not that's not my Wrestledream.
No, it's not. Sorry.
My Wrestledream is Takeshita.
Yes.
Stalling butterfly backbreaker from Sakura. That was pretty cool. And then Camille trips Sakura when the refs distract him. Moné submits her with the bank statement. I think they call it the statement maker. I like calling it the bank statement.
Yeah.
Statlander saves Sakura from a post-match attack. Will Washington, I have some questions for you, sir.
Will Washington, what is going on?
You talk about the match, and then I'll cover that part.
So I thought it was a fine TV match. Sakura got in quite a bit. Actually, the result was never in doubt, right?
She has some cool offense.
She does.
Just never does anything.
And again, she's always yelling and screaming and stuff, which I find interesting. So I thought the match was totally fine. Result was never in doubt. Confused by Statlander coming out. Feels really clunky way to get her involved.
And
then I was like, or did we miss something? Which I throw to you because you remind me if I miss anything.
All right. So yeah, I pretty much share your sentiment on the match. I like Sakura. It's just the heel dynamic created a real lack of heat, even for an open challenge match.
Yes.
And then considering they used her for a post match attack victim, again I question the choice of choosing a heel in Sakura.
Yes.
Anyways, post match stuff confuses me a lot as someone who is a stickler for the continuity and invokes Will Washington's name more than anyone on this earth.
Yep, we do.
It makes zero sense that Statlander seeming a babyface again and feuding with Moné randomly. Must have missed something where this feud started because I swear I saw it mentioned on Collision or something. It's like the Willow feud and that turn never happened. My theory is that since Stokely is trying to recruit per party, he's not with Statlander anymore, which is weird. Like, even if I'm on the money and that's exactly correct, that makes zero sense, and it's horrible storytelling to do just to drop something like that and change Statlander's alignment on a dime. Again, I love Statlander. I think she's great in the ring, but her problem is her character, and this does not help that.
And as we talk about wrestling loving to put people of similar races and nationalities together, he's starting to form an all-black faction, and he's like, sorry, Statlander, you can't stay.
That sucks.
So weird. Wrestling's so weird in so many ways.
It is. LWO.
Yeah.
Private Party interview. So here we go. Stokely interrupts, and he says Private Party's missing one thing, and that's him. And Quen said he's looking and jumping on the bandwagon. Quen said they don't need him. Hathaway said he didn't think that was the right move, and then Cassidy speaks. He says for the first time in 5 years, they're doing it on their own. They have their tag title match on pay-per-view, and said they'll beat the Bucks and be the next AEW Tag Team Champions. And when they do that, it's a party everybody will be invited to. So I was right about Stokely being after them. However, here he directly mentioned All Out. Granted, he did not mention Statlander by name, but if anything, that's weirder. He just got her a victory in a marquee match on the last pay-per-view. And so now he's not managing her after helping her succeed, which is what a manager's supposed to do. And he doesn't mention her by name. That's weird. It's
just like their relationship severed with no story attached. If
anything, Stokely, like, well, I'll talk about it here.
Maybe they'll circle back around and explain it, or maybe she is still with him.
I don't know if it's. I don't know. It's weird.
All confusing.
And Private Party rejecting him makes sense because he didn't do a ton for Statlander, and then when he got success, he left her.
Right.
I don't know. He was also, let's not forget, he was responsible for the Firm.
That's correct.
Don't forget about the Firm. Cassie sounded pretty solid again, I thought. I really like Private Party. I think they're cool. I just wish their momentum had been built up better. Again, a match I wish was safe for Full Gear. Do I want this tag title match to happen now? Absolutely. But I also wanted a build to come with it. So Agreed. If I have to save it for Full Gear, I'd much prefer that. So I really hope that Private Party, like, how about the Bucks win by shenanigans here, and then Private Party, like, make a case for another title shot, and you build a momentum to Full Gear, because I do really want them to beat the Bucks, because I love that payoff for their initial win, right? I really want that, and I think Private Party beating the Bucks would be really cool. It just can't be this time, because they haven't built it.
And that's the problem, right? I feel like it's been all tell and no show for these guys. You're presenting them as though they're important and telling me they're more important, but I don't see anything. Like, it's basically, hey, they're good because a manager wants to recruit them, not because they actually beat anybody and get any momentum.
They beat Bear County.
Right. So, and that's a starting point, but more of that. So they beat Bear County, then they beat somebody better.
If we had just postponed this match, we could easily do that.
Right.
Or how about give them, like, because I remember last year on the show, granted, we did have Aussie Open FTR in a tag title match, so that was awesome. But I remember the Bucks won. It was that 4-way. It was them, Cassidy, and Hook.
Do you say so?
And the Guns and someone else. Let me just look at that right now. But anyways, as I'll type it, my point being is that they had a number one contenders match on the show last year. So why not build up Private Party as, like, the front runners for that match? Then you book a number one contenders match here. So you could do, you know how they beat Top Flight and House of Black on Collision, I think it was? You do them and maybe chuck in one more team, insert team here. FTR, sure, it doesn't matter. You just do that. Give the Bucks the night off if that's what that means. That's fine. You do the number one contenders match this weekend, and it would be awesome, right? Because, you know, it was, Lucha Bros. It was Lucha Bros, Orange Cassidy and Hook, Guns, and the Bucks. But anyways, you do that here, and then now you have another month or so to still build Private Party's momentum. You know they're getting their title shot, but that's good because now we have something to build to the next pay-per-view.
Yes.
It's not that hard.
They're not as good at the slow burn stuff as they once were or
they
could be.
They are sometimes, and then they aren't.
But it's like they only have the capacity to do that for
like
one
for
or
Hangman
two stories at a time.
Hangman and Swerve this year, they did a fantastic
It's been
job.
awesome. And everything else is like, okay, we'll do this, and here we go, and it's next week.
I'm a big fan of Private Party, but I do want to get into them, and I'm trying, but that's why I want better for them, because I think they deserve it.
I'd love more tag team attention. I'd love elevating tag teams.
But Private Party's
like
fresh.
I know.
Right? Yep. So I really hope that by the end of the year, they can get built and get their tag title win, because
me too.
Again, I have high hopes for them. I think they're really cool. Then we get to hear from Will Ospreay. he comes down in the ring for an interview with Shivani, and he calls out Callis. Callis claimed he had something important to say to Will right now. He said last week was difficult for him emotionally. He mentioned the times that he helped Will in the past. And Ospreay cuts him off saying, stop talking about the past. This is about last week. And he asked if Don sent Takeshita out there to attack him. Don said he didn't need to know. And Will's like, I want the truth.
Which is kind of your answer. He's like,
right,
you don't need to know that.
We'll talk about it after, but I really like that every time Callis is doing like his usual deflection routine, Ospreay's like, no.
Yes. He's not being stupid, which is nice.
And Callis admits to it. He said it's because Will wouldn't listen to him and he needed to, I think it was like beat some sense into him or something. He said he sent Takeshita to show Will who calls the shots. He said Will dropped the ball last week and cost him the tag titles. He said Ospreay said he brought the international title to him and he would have brought him the world title if Don stayed out of his business. He said he's the best wrestler in the world and he told Don he doesn't know shit.
Don damn said, screwdriver.
Yeah, Don said he had the best wrestler in the world, which was Omega, but he dropped him for Ospreay, and maybe I'll have to drop the best wrestler in the world again for Takeshita. Ospreay told Callis he was scum, and Will said they're done. Callis slaps Ospreay. Ospreay kind of chucks him across the ring. Takeshita comes in with a German suplex. Fletcher kind of comes in to talk to Ospreay, and then this is when Takeshita hit the German suplex. Sorry, Callis wants Fletcher to hit Ospreay with a screwdriver. Fletcher refuses to do it, dips out. Then Takeshita nails Ospreay with the forearm like he usually does, which looked awesome. He holds up the belt again. Ricochet runs down, springboard clothesline, then Takeshita bails from the ring. And Ricochet gives Ospreay his belt back.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to like this more than me, because I feel like this is kind of like learning that the married couple you've known for decades that does nothing but fight and like hate each other is getting a divorce, and you're like, no big surprise there, right? It's never felt like they were on the same page from the beginning. Callis has been sort of waffling on whether he's a heel or not, or what kind of heel he is. I mean, it does lead to Ospreay and Takeshita in a program, so the ends may justify the means here. And then also like Fletcher being caught in the middle doesn't feel super believable to me either. It's like, I love all the pieces in this, but they don't seem to fit together very well as the story is being told. And then Ricochet has no story other than Ospreay and I have history and we're both super flippy.
Ricochet has no reason to be here.
So there's like amazing talent in this, like world-class talent, but the story has sort of wavered for me along the way, so I'm not as into it as I would like to be.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I thought Ospreay was great being angry and cutting down every attempt Callis trying to carny him.
He played his role well for sure.
Ospreay was really good. I thought Callis was kind of back to the supervillain Callis we like to see. Even more evident when he's just kind of talking about tossing Omega and Ospreay out like they're just these meal tickets, right?
Yeah, which
he kind of values whoever's the top guy he thinks is going to be.
He needs to return to mega diabolical supervillain and stay there.
Which I think is what we're doing.
I hope so.
He also pitted Fletcher against Ospreay, which is more heelish, and further teases Fletcher's allegiance, which is like, yeah, whatever. But I guess smart on Callis for trying to pit him against him, and then we'll see. But I feel like it's kind of a lock that Fletcher's going to dip anyways.
I hope so.
This is the direction I was expecting and hoping for, so it was good. Happy to see future champ Takeshita for the run-in as well. Looked good as always. I do think this 3 will be absolute insanity, but feels like Ricochet is an afterthought and unnecessary. Straight Takeshita Ospreay rematch is money. Takeshita has to be taking the title. It's his time, but I could see them waiting for Full Gear.
Yeah. He's wavering on his Takeshita pick.
But then I immediately went back on that. It's his time. You can just have him beat Ricochet in this match. Ospreay wants a rematch at Full Gear.
Yeah.
So Takeshita wins tonight.
Can still get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. TOE.
Yep.
Then we get Top Flight in an interview, or not even an interview, was it? Or was it a promo? I don't know. They're backstage talking about how they should be
talking, I think.
Okay. I think they said they should be the ones who have a tag team match at Wrestledream. And Dre said they aren't fired up, and Layla Gray said it's all his fault because of what he did last week. Something.
Right. Like, we don't know about this, by the way.
And so, like, yeah, this was fine. Like, it wasn't bad, but it just should have been on Collision. And not even because it's like, oh, I don't care, we should send it away. That's because I know that's where this story has been taking place. And so this should be something that's on there because that's where it's been the whole time. There's no reason for this to be here because Yeah, I know there's a bunch of people who probably watch both shows, but even me, a big AEW fan, that's not what I do.
No, and
I'm only aware of it because I keep tabs through Instagram.
And so is the idea, I guess, that Andretti's like the hothead or something? But again, like we don't know that, so it's hard to care about.
I only know that because I've been like kind of trying to follow from social media.
Right. And so this begs, because I guess does AEW know how to elevate younger, less established talent? Is there examples of like, are you going to consider Darby Allin a success? And does he fit that category? Okay. Anybody else? Like, I don't know.
I guess MJF.
I guess. But they were also kind of like really, really prominent indie guys.
I could say Perry got there now.
I guess. I just feel like they kind of stop and start or don't really commit, or I don't know what it is. But anyways, this feels like kind of like Private Party again, right? Like, I don't know. We don't know these things. You're telling us this stuff or whatever.
These Private Party have been on our show, though.
We're not seeing it. Yeah. So I was kind of annoyed by this too.
Then we get Speak of the Devil, Jack Perry in a stairwell.
Yep.
He said he wants to face the Shibata, who's the best, the one who almost killed himself because he was willing to fight and sacrifice. Perry says it's not about what you deserve because it's about what you're willing to take. He said the TNT title says he's one of the best. A dare Shibata to take it from him.
Again,
I thought it was good.
Stakes, but no story. So the story is it's for a title. That's it. That's all we're getting.
That's pretty much what it was, yeah.
But yeah, Perry was good here, serious. The match should be good as well. But again, it's kind of like underdeveloped, I feel like.
Yeah. And I wish he was more prominent with the rest of the league. He feels like a bit of an afterthought lately because I forgot about his belt for a second. I do enjoy Scapegoat, though. Like
the prominence
I like
of
his work.
That whole group has declined from when Okada first got there, right? Like I was complaining because they were sort of more important than the champion at that point, right? So I didn't like how they were overshadowing Swerve at that point. So now they seem to sort of be almost backburnered, which is interesting.
Especially ever since they established Christopher Daniels as their counter.
And that whole story of like who's actually in charge. Tony Khan was getting attacked by people, and then so I don't know so it was the elite making decisions, and then it's Christopher Daniels makes some decisions but not all the decisions, and Tony Khan's still there somewhere. So the power structure is not super clear to me either.
If Tony Khan's still in a neck brace, I would laugh.
Yeah.
Neck of sand.
Like Joel Gertner. You get that reference?
No.
ECW commentator who wore one, I think, forever or for a super long time. Because it was Styles and Gertner for a while before Styles did it on his own. I'm just going to make sure I'm right.
One-man commentary team in pro wrestling? Is that even possible?
Oh, yeah. It's literally him with neck braces, and then he would have a bow tie around the neck brace was kind of his look. Anyways, the quintessential stud muffin, I think, was his nickname, if I remember correctly. It's weird the things I don't remember and the things I do.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll test that soon.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Foreshadowing. Then we get Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta versus Pac and Claudio. Danielson's jacket, the red with like the gold dragon scales, is cool. So cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Like his subtle dragon stuff is cool.
Would love to wear that. But like it would
Where
look
are you
so
gonna wear that?
ridiculous. I would love that if like could I do it black and then maybe like do like silver scales or something? Because like there has to be a way to wear something like that where it looks somewhat normal.
Wear
in
it to
public.
prom. Make that your tux.
Honestly, that'd be sick.
It would.
Dragon scale suit.
Yeah.
Like, but his jacket's so cool. I think it's the same one from All In.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but it's just really cool. Come on. Claudio's got a new heel theme, and it just sounded really cool to me. It's got some aura about it.
Didn't
new Trons for him. It was very nice. Well, I hope you notice themes.
Oh, yeah.
Got him again.
Uh-oh.
Danielson holds Pac in a surfboard hold, and Yuta runs with a basement dropkick. That was solid. Bridging German from suplex from Yuta for 2. Hangs on off to the kick out. Gets Yuta and gets Pac and cattle mutilation. Claudio walks in and just picks him up off the hold. And Yuta slaps Claudio. And you can kind of see Claudio trying to maintain composure here. And then Danielson takes Claudio out. So again, I really like the dynamic there. And I'll talk more about Claudio later. I think he deserves some praise. Claudio with the neutralizer, Danielson on the floor. And then so he's out for a while. Yuta bites Claudio's hand and hits a tornado DDT before making the hot tag out to Danielson, who's back. It comes in a series of corner drop kicks to Claudio. Avalanche Rocola Bomb gets countered with a Hurricane Rana from Danielson. Danielson lines up for the Psycho Knee, gets distracted by the arrival of Shafir and Mox. Claudio hits the pop-up European uppercut for 2, and another 2 count off of Pac's 450 splash, which always looks awesome. Finish comes when Pac has a hammer. Yuta takes it from him, and Danielson gets Pac and the labella lock for the win. Post-match, Danielson immediately attacks Mox, and they brawl to the back as Yuta starts getting battered by Pac and Shafir. Claudio calls Pac and Shafir off, but then he gets them to hold Yuta up as he hits him with the hammer multiple times. Danielson and Mox brought back to the ring. Shafir gets Mox out of there to like kind of again doing her role as like the heater and Mox's protector. So again, really like her work.
Yep.
And Danielson disposes of Pac and Claudio.
So I guess this is where we finally learn where Yuta stands, right? That because there's
for now, I think there's still a chance.
There is, and even when he's holding the hammer right on the ring apron, and he kind of started walking towards, you're kind of like, is he coming through to take out Danielson, right? So maybe there is a little bit open-ended there, and this was all part to cover it up even further. But yeah, a good tag team match. I still think it never really got into that extra gear considering the talent involved. I thought
absolutely
it picked up at the end when it was Danielson basically taking on both of the opponents. The finish was pretty sudden. I don't love Pac tapping out because Pac's supposed to be rededicated to whatever. Same with him. Like, he always comes back and goes, I'm going to be whatever, and then he's not. So a bit frustrating. But a good main event tag team match could have been great. So I thought they left some money on the table there.
That's fair.
But again, a lot of it was to just further the storyline going on and sort of make you think Yuta is now definitely a babyface and Shafir's still protecting Moxley, all that stuff. So good, but not great, I would say.
Yeah. And I do kind of like that because it's kind of the typical face the lackeys before you face the guy.
Yeah.
For Danielson, right? But I do kind of like it because while it is mainly Moxley's feud, it does feel like kind of Pac and Claudio have been involved in the feud, and like because they turned on Danielson with Mox and they've been kind of come at him as well. So I feel like it's kind of it's less of that. But I thought it was pretty good. I like all the dynamics in play. I think Claudio deserves some more praise and recognition for his character work in this story so far, just because he's not exactly known for being the best on the mic and in character work. So I think he's done pretty well, and I think he deserves props.
They even used the language I used last week. Like, he's coming across as Yuta's big brother, who's like, listen,
I really like that.
We have our disagreements and stuff, like, I'm still your big brother and you need to sort of right?
I really like what he's been doing with that and the way he plays it and how he acts and talks to Yuta. And he's kind of always leaving the door open for Yuta to join them, like you're saying, like kind of in spite of their differences, he's like, you can always come back. Like, he's multiple times, especially last week, but even a bit here, avoiding really hurting Yuta. And then even in the post match, they kind of frame it as like a tough love kind of thing, which I think totally works. I think it works for Pac to not really care about that because Pac has not the same relationship with Yuta, right? And so then Yuta or Claudio kind of calls him off for a second, and then he's like kind of showing him that tough love with the hammer shots, right? So I really like all Claudio's work, and I think while Moxley is obviously the star of the show, I think Claudio deserves some praise for his work because that's a rarity from him.
And it's kind of like subtle stuff he's doing, right?
So it kind of flies under the radar, so I really enjoyed it.
He's not getting any solo promo time or anything like that, but he's still getting his role
He's had bits
across.
in the promos, right? And again, I think it's really quality. Back to the match, though, I think that dynamic and the inner fighting of the Trios Champions mixed with the feud against Danielson made for an interesting match. In ring-wise, everyone's quality was good. Nothing special, and it could have been a little better, but it was still good. And the post-match was good with the Yuta stuff and the brief Mox Danielson brawl, and I'm interested how the pay-per-view plays out.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a solid show, but not spectacular, especially considering it's a go-home.
Yeah, not the strongest go-home, but some parts were good, I thought.
I thought lots of last-minute storytelling, right? No real standout matches. I think maybe Commander Hologram was the one I enjoyed the most. The main event was good, too. Some confusing developments, right? Like, you've got wrestlers being traded. You've got Jake building a new faction. You've got Statlander flipping back to babyface. So, and then some things they focused on.
I shouldn't have been confused this much on a Dynamite show for someone who knows what
everything
he's doing.
And there was a lot of things that I kind of find it hard to care about, like Garcia, Kip Sabian, Learning Tree, to some extent the Callis storyline. And
Private Party a little.
Then that was a good chunk of this show, right? So, the Mox promo was good. Darby's segment was good with Brody King. I went with a C+, a little bit disappointing this week, and just no matches that were super awesome to put it into that B range. So I went C+. Solid. Could have been better.
I think I liked it generally a little more. I do think some things leave a lot to be desired. And again, like, the disconnect with some things for me as someone who's connected more than most, I feel.
I would agree.
That's not a good sign. I don't think it was quite bad enough to go in the C range, so I'll go B minus.
Fair. I thought because you definitely for you like the Callus stuff more than me, so that already could move it up.
Yeah, and I'm like with Private Party, that stuff does bother me too, but I do enjoy them a lot. So I'm just trying to.
We're very hopeful for them.
Yeah, I think I'm less tired on that than Garcia because it's a similar situation, but with Private Party, they also there's been less false hope.
And I just want the tag division to get
that too
elevated.
The hope for the tag division, but also just less false hope with them. Because with Garcia, like you were saying, they've already started so much. With Private Party, I feel like they've only really kind of been starting this year. Because for so long, they were grunts for Matt Hardy.
Exactly. And that wasn't, to me, being in those factions wasn't starting anything. No, that was just moving them around.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, so that's going to wrap up the Dynamite discussion. We're going to move into our trivia segment that's going to be a little bit of a role reversal this week. We like to call it Off the Top of His Head. All right, so we're switching it up this week, and it's not going to be as impressive a knowledge for sure. So explain what you're going to do here.
Okay, so it's something we did with me, I think, a while ago, or we've done it a couple times, I want to say.
Audio version, yeah.
Audio version, yeah.
A couple times.
Where we'll play a bit of a theme song, and
you can laugh at how much I don't know anything.
Yeah. I tried to keep in the stuff you should know.
Okay.
So we'll see. And I have 3 parts. I haven't finished my 3rd part, but I have 10 for each, so we could stretch this out a couple weeks.
All right, so we'll see if we get any copyright strikes. We're going to try and keep it to like 10 seconds or less, and
yeah, we'll see. And
we'll
then
see what happens.
I have your multiple choice fail-safe
Thank
prepared
God,
as well.
because I'm going to need it. I'm ready.
Okay, we'll try the first one. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Undisputed Era?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I figured that'd be a good start.
I almost thought you were going to go, nope, Adam Cole, not his.
He does have his own thing. That's a good one that I could stump you with.
Okay.
Because you would not know his NXT one.
I'm 1 for 1, dude.
That's 1 for 1. Okay. That one I cut the intro from because that would be way more painfully obvious.
Oh, shock the system?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been obvious. I'm happy. I'm already, this is gravy. If I got 1 out of 10.
Okay. Second one.
I'd set the over-under at 3.5.
Is it going? Where is it?
Ricochet?
Yeah.
Ricochet?
I probably should have cut that part.
Yeah, as soon as it hit 1 and only. So that would have been one I would have gotten immediately once you gave me the options.
Yeah, the options are Kalisto, Neville, Ricochet, and Fraser.
So I would have gotten it. But the 1 and only got it for me. 2 for 2, boys.
Okay.
Look out.
Let's
Sorry,
see.
and women, if there's any listening. There's not. There's not.
All right.
Aunt Kath, shout out to you if you're listening.
All right.
If you're a woman listening to this, leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching.
This is not a pickup scheme.
No, I'm just curious.
Analytical data.
Correct.
All right. Number.
I'm a happily married man.
3.
To his mother. Isn't that weird?
That is
Sorry,
odd.
go ahead. I think I got it. Andrade?
Yeah.
Oh, 3 for 3, guys.
That one's older.
I'm killing it.
That one's older.
Killing it.
That one I just skipped the intro where it starts by saying El Idolo.
Yes, you did. Okay, 3 for 3.
All right.
Okay.
Stop it there.
That's This Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
I even got the name.
Rebel Heart. I'll give it to you.
Give it to me. 4 for 4, guys.
It's for the options I had DIY and Gargano in there just to be a little bitch.
I'm really good. Let's keep going.
All right.
I'm keeping stats on my clipboard.
This one's probably easier.
My analog clipboard.
We'll see.
Oh, I should know. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I almost had it.
So you know why I know this? Because when you were younger, you used to get up and rock out to this one. And that is Bobby Lashley.
No.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Okay. Sorry, give me my options then. I was so confident.
Luke Harper.
No.
Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose. Kevin Owens.
Oh, no. Is it available to play again?
If you'd like, I can
would.
just start it from the start again.
Go ahead. I thought it was Lashley for sure.
That one is a good one.
Okay. I will guess Ambrose.
Yeah.
Okay, I only get a half for that.
That's fair. I'll give you a half point.
Out of 5.
I'll give you a half point.
Okay. Damn it. Is it close to Lashley's?
I would not think so.
Damn it.
I could, I won't play it because maybe I'll use that one now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you used to get up and dance to that one.
That one is funny. I don't know why I did that, but I love it.
Because you're a weird kid.
All right. This is numero 6.
Okay. Okay.
I got him.
I absolutely have no guess, so I need the options on that one.
We got Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
Oh my God.
Private Party.
Oh my God.
Top Flight or TH2.
Guessing.
Okay.
Using you. I'm going to go TH2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you want to sneak them onto the show any way you can. So I'm up to 6 out of 7 because I got 2 halves.
That's true. That is a half.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a half.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Let's go. Think I got it.
Okay.
Kip Sabian?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I cheated with that one because that's the instrumental version that he used before they added lyrics to it.
But I still nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm good at this. 7 out of 8.
Most of the options are him related because
that's
I
a
had
Canadian B-.
Joey Janela, Inner Circle, Penelope Ford, or him.
American C-, Canadian B-. Let's
All
go.
right.
Next one.
Number 8.
I know it.
You do. You definitely do.
Oh no. I feel like I'm going to know it with the options. And now I'm just like, is this in a retrievable part of my brain?
I can do it again if you don't want to do the options.
One more time.
All right. Do you want me to try? I could just keep playing.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go with that.
Okay. I need the options.
Okay, that'll make it. I don't know.
It'll make it a half.
Heath Slater, Noam Dar, the Brian Kendrick, or Tyler Rust?
Oh no. Now I know you want to get Rust on the show.
I think I nailed the options.
But I think it's not super confident. I'm going to go Noam Dar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dar's first theme.
Right.
The Tyler Rust is
I miss
genius
that guy,
there.
man. Yeah, I know, but that's why I was like, I know you want to get Rust on this show too, but bring back Noam Dar. Where is he?
Wasn't he injured though? And that's
He
why they did
was,
the thing
but
with
like I feel
Mensa?
like it's been forever.
Oh, for sure.
Love that dude.
It's been a while.
Okay, is this the last one? Is this 10?
Second last.
Okay, go ahead.
This is 9.
Penultimate? To
Penultimate.
use a $10 word. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to need options on that one.
A-Kid, Grand Metalik, Neville, or Ricochet. Okay, bear in mind, people have multiple theme songs, so repeats are possible.
Okay. Sorry. Grand Metalik. Who else?
A-Kid, Neville, or Ricochet.
I don't know why, but I'm going to go Grand Metalik.
Neville.
Damn it.
Eat it.
That's my first 0. Okay. Last one. Whatever, dude. I crushed. I don't even care what happens on this.
That was also his heel remix. So.
I smashed this quiz. I am a genius.
Hold on. I want to play a bit more. I want to see if you remember it at all. This is still Neville.
Oh, yeah. If you got to that. Oh, yeah.
Genius move.
If you got into that part, I would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last one for this week, at least.
Oh. Okay. Gonna need the hints, I think.
Trent Seven, Gallus, GUIV, or Sam Gradwell. They're all from UK, so
okay.
It's not gonna help you at all.
I'm gonna go with the most obscure and go Gradwell.
Trent Seven.
Damn it.
Got him again.
So
I knew that one was gonna stump you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. Is that right? 6.5? No, I already got to 7.5. I thought I said 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you already had 6 before Dar.
My math is saying 6.5, but I already thought I had 7 because I was bragging about a Canadian B- already. Anyways, regardless, way better than I thought I would do. That was kind of fun, and I think it'll work as long as the sound and everything comes through not crazy loud, but I'll adjust that in post-production.
Tried to have a decent progression through each
Very fun. And not super hard for me, so that was good. I liked it a lot. All right, so
pretty proud of the Mustache Mountain one because I knew that one was going to get you, and I'm pretty sure the last one on the next one will also 100% get you.
We'll revisit that next week, and it's less work for me, so I'm all about this. All right, so back to talking about the week that was in wrestling. We'll highlight anything notable that we thought from the week. We call it
including Bad Blood,
Highspots and Restholds. All right, so you're going to start us off with some Bad Blood talk. We watched everything, full disclosure, except the main event, which I think is pretty telling, right? We just had zero interest in... I don't watch SmackDown. I don't like Cody Rhodes.
Honestly, I would have just watched the opener, but we just kind of ended up watching other stuff.
I don't like Roman Reigns in ring, so just the pace of his stuff is... So we didn't watch main event, but we can talk about really quickly other stuff. We can cherry pick too. Highspots, Resthold, go ahead.
The opener was predictably the Hell in a Cell match, which was bloodbath.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty insane. There was a lot of good stuff here. My favorite spot was probably when McIntyre missed a Claymore and just hit the bottom of his back off like the edge of the stairs.
Yes.
Like that looked like it hurt like a bitch.
It was similar like to the cinder block.
That's exactly what I thought.
And so there was that. They
had the sharpshooter, bloody sharpshooter as a callback. I think toolbox is also used a lot.
And that toolbox,
there's a suplex to the outside through a table.
Yes. And again,
white noise on the stairs.
We're non-Punk people, so I would like to come at it from the point of Punk took liberties with the toolbox because that's what broke Drew open for like staples in his head. But Drew might have said like, lay into me with the toolbox. I don't care, right? So I can't blame Punk fully, but definitely direct shots with that toolbox that split open Drew.
Yeah, so there was a lot of blood, especially on McIntyre's end.
So much. And apparently, reading stuff after, Punk was the only one supposed to bleed here. And that Drew was hard way and was like split open, and they were concerned about him backstage. But apparently
he was going to like,
and he was like, unless he gets dizzy, then he's going to keep going.
Hey, I think the match was all the better for it. I thought
This match was awesome.
McIntyre looked sick though, because Punk's blood you could tell it was like, because McIntyre's was like darker, like just dripping, like
covering his face.
Like he looked awesome. They had a black bag and it was beads instead of thumbtacks. I thought that was pretty funny. Yep. And Punk won. What was it? Was that the chain GTS, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Which was predictable. I thought this was great.
Probably my favorite WWE match this year.
Probably, yeah.
And so listen,
my favorite Punk match in a long time.
I don't like to get into the tribalism stuff, but if you're a WWE tribalist and you liked and loved this match, this was WWE doing an AEW match. I hate to tell you this.
In a post-Swerve Hangman world, this holds up.
Lots of blood, lots of people kicking out from humongous things, which all of the tribalists complain about AEW. So.
And it had like a long personal feud that's like...
Right.
It's kind of like their Swerve Hangman. Nowhere near as good, but it's
still fantastic.
But it was still great. Yeah.
Easily the match of the night.
As someone who hates Punk with a burning passion.
This was a terrific match, and it's probably the best WWE match I've seen this year.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of because it was very AEW.
That is true. That's probably a good point. And not even to do the tribalism thing, but that's just my preferred style.
Right. Like, we don't mind this. We don't mind tons of crazy stuff and people still kicking out.
And like, it doesn't
lots of blood, lots of violence.
Yeah, it's not always necessary, but the blood is just
helps.
Refreshing. For sure. Especially because it's WWE. The fact that Drew bled so much is refreshing to see.
And it's a Hell in a Cell. And this has been, like you said, a really, really well...
This felt like
lengthy feud.
The most worthwhile Hell in a Cell match in a long time.
Yes. And it was great. It delivered, man.
Because like people always praise the Rollins Edge one from Think Saudi, which I know we didn't see because Saudi. Yeah. But like this one, because ever since they took it off its own PLE, Hell in a Cell has been saved, right? Like the last one I think was Mania last year, back when Edge was still around. So this felt worth it, and like it was pretty great.
Great match.
Their SummerSlam match kind of sucked with the ref stuff, and I didn't watch the strap match because I didn't
this
care
was
about it.
by far the best.
This was great, yeah.
And then this pay-per-view kind of goes off a cliff.
If it weren't for this match, this pay-per-view is completely skippable as usual.
100%. And the next match was rough.
Yeah, it's a SummerSlam rematch with Bayley and Nia Jackson. Their match wasn't bad at SummerSlam, but it also wasn't something that I thought was like amazing.
No.
Michael Cole said, "This has been a Met-style thrashing by Nia," I guess,
because she was dominant for a lot of it,
yeah,
right, I guess.
She did a really crappy Hurricane Rana out of a sunset.
And it was really bad, and whoever's on commentary was like, we need to see a replay of that, and they showed it.
They had the balls to do that again.
It was terrible, but anyways.
And there's the ref bump where Nia fell on the ref. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, so...
but Nia did end up retaining, so that's cool, I guess, but like completely predictable. I think there was a tease Tiffany cashing again.
Yeah, there was.
Which is fine.
And yeah, just general Nia Jax sloppiness, right? But I guess part of it is like, even when she's sloppy, she's so big and powerful, it looks like it still probably hurts.
Not the Hurricane Rana, dude.
But no, that looked terrible. So I didn't think this was very good, right?
No.
I would have put this in like the rest hold
Bayley's
department.
good, but she feels like she's kind of in a rut in her career, and I don't like Nia.
No, I didn't think this was very good. And then the rolling into the next match, which I thought was kind of heatless with this crowd as well, right?
Heatless, surprisingly heatless, if anything.
Yes.
Balor with some slight face paint, so that was kind of cool. But missed the Demon Days.
And he's coming out with like that bag on his head or whatever.
So dumb.
Sort of a weird choice. But...
It had 2 teardrops in it, so it was a tear for both Damian and Rhea, and then the line they crossed is what he said.
Oh.
But just the bag looks stupid. Like,
Yeah,
wear
it's
a
not.
mask like a normal person.
Especially for a guy who has a cool alter ego going that
And
they just don't use.
Not a ugly face.
True.
And
Your mother's quite a fan of Finn Balor.
not a giant head.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
To quote Bleacher Report, Priest yeeted Balor across the announce table at one point.
He did.
How about that NXT cameo, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I knew you'd love that.
That's right.
This was the coldest match of the night, likely because the crowd had zero belief in the heel.
Yeah, right? There's no way that Balor's
That is all
here.
they wrote. There's really not a lot I remember from this match, other than that Priest is like Hogan-esque, where he's just like, Balor looks like a loser because he's been losing big singles matches time after time again this year.
Yeah.
He like won tag titles because Liv Morgan helped him, and that was in a match with R-Truth. Hasn't defended them much with JD McDonough. And now Priest is like not only able to beat him, first Universal Champion, former like Grand Slam champion,
Yep.
right? With like Carlito and McDonough hanging around. Like
Still not
Priest takes it
believable.
everybody else. Like I think
And it was 2 coup de grace to his back, and he was like, no problem.
I think you could have extended this feud to their like Survivor Series or something. Have like a blow off match there and have Priest win that. But like give Balor a win.
It was clearly a rehab win for Priest at the expense of Balor and the rest of the leftover Judgment Day.
And did Priest really need to win? Like again, like cheap win. Even then, Balor, just give Balor a marquee win. Like
Yeah.
Balor's awesome, and I feel like they haven't done him justice in a long time.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought this match was okay. Like, so if we're going stars,
was fine.
I'm probably giving the Hell in a Cell like 4.5.
4.5. Meltzer gave it 5, I think.
I'm probably giving Nia and Bayley like 2.25, 2.5
Agreed.
tops.
2.25.
This one's maybe 3.25.
I'd even go 3.
If we're going there, I would accept that, right? So like fine, but Balor had no chance.
This is a
and
Raw match.
Looked kind of like a
This is
good.
a Raw
Yeah, that's a
match.
great point. I think.
Then
Yep.
we go to Triple H's announcement.
Don't care. Did we even listen to it?
Did you even register what it is?
No, was it that thing?
Remember the
about
belt?
The belt.
Yeah,
the
so he
giant
unveils the
belt?
Crown Jewel Championship, which is like this huge jeweled out belt. Authors of Wrestling, credit to him on Instagram. I love him. He called it the Blood Money title, obviously. And because we hadn't watched the show yet, I legitimately was like, is that what they called it? Because that'd be kind of cool.
So yeah, I don't care about this at all.
But
We'll
basically-
never watch it.
It's the world champion versus the WWE champion for men and women respectively, and the winner gets this meaningless, gigantic belt. If you want to see what it looks like, you can easily find a picture. And it's meaningless because it's like I've literally heard reports where it's like the Greatest Royal Rumble belt. They're not going to mention it ever again
Right.
until the next year's show. And
Oh, and this segment brought us the Gunther stuff too.
yeah, I'll talk about
Ugh.
that briefly. But
Gross.
it's to me, it's like one, to satisfy the Saudi government. They want their own belt. They want these
Yes.
marquee matches
And
on
it
their
has
shows,
to be the
right?
most opulent, extravagant looking belt
Like
possible.
imagine they did carry that around. Imagine that's in your luggage.
Now I'm worried I didn't use opulent correctly.
Like, and then my second thing is, now that Survivor Series has finally gotten away from the brand warfare stuff, and like, now it's in War Games. There's no pointless champion versus champion matches forced every year. They need to get their fill in of those meaningless champion versus champion matches.
And all it's going to do is establish the pecking order of the champions in their like backstage minds. Who's the champion that's more important than the other one, right? That's all we're going to learn from this.
Pretty much. And I saw an interesting stat that the only time a WWE champion has ever beaten a world heavyweight or a universal champion was when Orton beat Cena to unify those belts in 2013. Because like universal champion, it was always either Brock or Roman, I think, at Survivor Series. When they did those, and then world heavyweight champion, they'd always win. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I feel like Gunther has to beat Cody. I'm afraid that will not be the case.
I know. No chance.
If Cody beats Gunther, though, does that not undermine?
Cody's not losing.
The whole. There has to be.
Nope.
There has to be a
shot.
way.
Never.
With Cody, no, with everything going on with Kevin Owens and Orton, there has to be something. Like, there's no way they could jeopardize Gunther like that.
And I nailed opulent, by the way. Ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish.
Never knew that was a word.
Nailed it.
Then after this, Gunther comes out, obviously did a yap about that.
And interacts with...
And then because he's in the front row for some reason, he had to clarify to Goldberg that Goldberg's not his favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he was just saying that to annoy Brett.
My world is shattered. Then he like says something about his son who's also there. Goldberg gets in his face. Sami Zayn attacks Gunther because they had a match later on that show. It was on Raw.
Goldberg Jr. for WrestleMania.
If we get Gunther Goldberg, I swear to God.
What about Goldberg Jr.?
I'd prefer that.
At least he's unknown. Because
Goldberg can't go. He nearly killed The Undertaker. In the last match I think he had with Roman, stunk out the joint.
And Gunther's amazing. Why are you doing this?
Gunther's amazing. He can work a pace Goldberg can keep up with, but I think Goldberg would die if he got chopped.
And I don't think Goldberg's going to want to sell appropriately for Gunther's stuff.
No.
Because Goldberg.
And I just don't want to see Goldberg.
Correct. I agree.
Goldberg sucks.
Yep.
If you want to do a Goldberg match, just do Gunther and Breaker.
Yeah.
Then we get the women's match with the Shark Cage Boy. There's not a lot of useful notables
there. The big thing was him, like, falling from the cage.
Yeah, right? He, like, fell out of the cage.
Because we noted right away, the cage isn't locked. Yeah. It's just latched, and he can reach his hand through.
Take the lock.
And unlatch it anytime he wants. It's so stupid.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There wasn't a lot of notable stuff here. Dom's hanging from the cage. Rhea starts beating with the kendo stick. She gets attacked by Raquel Rodriguez is back.
Yeah.
And so Ripley wins by DQ.
I think the crowd was like collectively like, who? Like, I don't think she got much of a reaction.
No, that sucks because I love her. She's cool. She's cool.
And she's good in the role of
She's got history with both Ripley and Liv, so I think it works really well. And to do a Judgment Day, she's kind of like a Chyna.
Yeah.
Something or like a it's more like a female Diesel Shawn.
Yes. That's which I'm okay with.
I think that's pretty cool. And I think that definitely helps Liv's credibility to have that kind of heater with her because she's not the most credible champion on her own.
She's not.
Sure. And so to have a lackey...
She needs to get by with shenanigans.
To have not only a lackey, but one that can actually get interfere because Dom's not going to be popping the women's division, right? So to have Raquel who can... is definitely helpful.
And someone of comparable size to Ripley, right? So
yeah, that too. And maybe another tag team in the division.
I guess maybe.
But this was whatever. Like I don't know what to give.
So Ripley ends up winning by DQ, right?
So there's definitely got to be a third match.
Clearly circling. I thought this was
technically they're tied.
Thought like 3 stars is fine.
I was gonna say 3 at best.
Yeah, I agree. Like the women's matches on this show were not super strong, but nothing really was except.
And then the main event,
which we didn't
watch. Notable is I actually don't even know what happened. Jamie Uso's back. He helped them out. They helped Cody after the match.
Oh, great.
The Rock is back. He did like a
I did hear that actually.
But then I saw something. He's too busy for Mania.
So really pretty. Unfortunately, WWE. Not unfortunately, they had been hot, but they've been hot for a while, and I feel like this pay-per-view was pretty disappointing because they've been sort of a bit of a resurgence. Even I was really enjoying Raw.
And they're definitely hyping the revamp of this because this is a show that's been 2 decades dormant.
Right. So I thought it was a miss, that show in general. Like, I don't know what to rate it. overall because we didn't see the main event. I won't, but I did not really.
Wasn't great.
We just kind of watched the opener, loved it, and then sort of left it playing, and we're basically unimpressed.
I was even willing
else.
to not let it play.
You were, and I was just like, oh, why not? It's a few matches. They're not long.
If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have seen anything.
None of the matches were super long, but none of them were really good either. So
yeah.
Okay, so moving into Raw then. You get CM Punk starting the show with an in-ring promo following that.
Where he gives us his personal thanks.
Absolute. Yeah, so he panders to the fans first, as he tends to do. Then it really annoyed me, and I'm not a Punk fan, so my bias shines through here. I don't care. He sucks up to the rest of the roster, all the guys in the back that make this.
Because, he's been around for so long.
Then he has to thank the people that hate him because he's consumed by not everybody loving him, right?
It's me.
Telling us he's turned our hate into money, so... spoiler, not ours, because we've never tuned into anything for Punk. No. Like, not to watch him get beat up, not to watch him, we watch the stuff anyways. He happens to be on it, and this match was...
I would even
credit
go...
where credit's due. This match was amazing, so...
But I would even go as far as... I don't even happen to watch the stuff he's on. This is the only time I've done that this year other than SummerSlam. But, Raw... No, if I'm cherry picking stuff, it's Pete Dunne.
He basically lets us know he's going to be taking some time to heal. Isn't sure when he'll be back.
I did see he's planning to be back in time for Survivor Series because he's factored into plans for that.
So here's the thing:
Does he face Gunther?
He won a match that happens a lot. It was an awesome match. And he gets to come out and give a speech like he won an Academy Award, right? Like, oh, thanks for this, thanks for that. Why? Fun. So why doesn't everyone who wins a stipulation match that isn't even for a title get to come out and make an acceptance speech, So kind of annoyed me. But
I wonder what his involvement will be, because I don't think it'll be in War Games. I think the War Games match is sewed up as Bloodline.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think, so we have the Saudi show coming up, which is, basically non-canon.
Yes.
Let's be real. I feel like there's a chance we get, because I think he mentioned going after the title after McIntyre.
So I hate
that's his natural progression. So do we do Gunther Punk at Survivor Series?
Maybe. And listen, I don't want to give Punk credit for things, but he has been openly critical of the relationship with Saudi. So the fact that he's not going there, I think is him going I'm not going there. And he's a big enough star that they can't. So I kind of respect that decision.
I respect that, if nothing else.
Right? So then...
At least he's not completely morally devoid.
I liked that Rollins comes out here and he addresses Punk quickly saying, I really hope that you do get well soon.
So I can send you back.
Because I'm going to send your ass to retirement. So that was cool.
I saw someone talking about, not really getting the appeal of Rollins and Punk, and I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the only reason that's appealing is because Rollins had that... Remember the over-the-top reaction when Punk returned?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of... personally, I'm over that. Because it's clearly wasn't a real thing.
They didn't strike on that at all.
They didn't strike at that. They couldn't really, right? I think they were going to.
Yes.
Obviously, but they couldn't.
Yes.
And the Drew McIntyre thing was hot because he kept taunting Punk over social media over and over, and then obviously they started building the feud. That's why that was hot.
A feud where the heel was always right. And the baby face was
feud
always
nonetheless.
Wrong. But yes.
And so I don't think the Rollins thing is very hot. For me... I don't personally care.
No. So Rollins then, for some reason, they use him to summarize a whole bunch of storylines. He finally gets around to addressing Bronson Reed, and it's kind of I'll face Bronson Reed anytime, anywhere sort of thing, right? And then, so we got overlapping stuff, which I kind of like. Jey Uso comes out. He and Rollins kind of share a look like Rollins doesn't appreciate being interrupted, even though he interrupted Punk 2 minutes before. So then it is Uso is there because he's having his match with Xavier Woods. And it was nothing, basically. So
I heard
Woods was leaning a little bit heel, and the crowd did boo him a few times. He actually controlled most of the action with pretty basic stuff. And then he comes off the top into a super kick. Did look good. Uso splash, and it's over 7 minutes or something. So, Jey Uso, dude, he has no offense. He has punches, super kicks, and a splash. And that's pretty much all he can do, right? So... This match was a waste of time.
Which is weird because him in tag matches, they're so good.
I know. And the aftermath was Woods is respectful, won't shake hands with Uso, but Kofi does. And on the way out, as they're walking out together, you can hear Woods yelling at Kofi, basically, why are you shaking hands with him, blah, blah, blah. So furthering that sort of possible split. Match was not very good at all because Jey Uso is not a singles wrestler. Braun then, so again, with more overlapping things, right? Braun Breaker shows up and quote unquote super speared.
Yeah, why
Uso.
did he keep saying super
He kept
spear over
saying
and over?
it. And it's not even like, okay, if the I hate it altogether. But if you want to call the one where he sprints around the ring on the outside and you spear him on the floor, the super spear.
Or like if you were, let's say you did a spear coming from the ropes, like, you know, like a
Sure.
diving spear, at least something where it's like, you know, like a superplex.
Yes.
Where there's a reason for,
So I can't stand it.
I agree.
So Kofi goes to help Braun, sort of goes to help Uso, but Woods doesn't. Woods then pulls Kofi out of the ring. Braun hits his running spear to Woods on the floor.
Super spear.
One more super spear to Uso in the ring, and Braun holds up the title. So his face turn lasted 1 week.
I want to say it was a ruse, but why?
So that's the thing. If it's a ruse, it's not like
was.
It'd be a ruse if he like, I'll accompany you, Uso, for support for this match, right? Or I come down to seemingly help him near the end and then turn. But he just attacked like he always does. So it's like last week never happened and didn't matter and was like just dangling there. But anyways, I'm happy to have heel Braun for longer. I just don't understand why it was gone for a week and back. The Miz and Cross are backstage. Kind of funny. R-Truth shows up and is ready to forgive Miz for that lame kick last week when he turned on him. And he's kind of like, he assumed that Miz assumes he's still part of the Judgment Day. He's like, I'm not in that group anymore kind of thing. So Miz clarifies, that we're done. Cross whispers to Miz that this is why no one takes him seriously. So we're getting a Miz and R-Truth match next week, bottom line.
Yeah.
I texted you how annoying I found it. It was the good old-fashioned Donnybrook they had to keep saying.
They love that name because it's like the only thing that differentiates it.
Sheamus and Dunn. So pretty fun match.
I wonder who won.
Sheamus clearly getting showcased here, right?
It's on me for being hopeful.
Dunn got caught and slammed on the announce table. There was no break there. Then we had the 10 beats of the whatever. On top of the barrels because he had Dunn's arms.
That makes it more impactful.
He had Dunn's arms subdued with shillelagh. So, and then he hits a crazy looking white noise off the barrels through the tables. So that looked really good. Annoyed by this because Dunn zip ties Sheamus' hands behind his back. So Sheamus literally beats Pete Dunne with his hands tied behind his back. So
I guess brogue kick you can.
Sheamus avoids the cricket bat shot that cost him the match before, hits the running knee followed by the brogue kick, and he wins after 15 minutes.
Did he say Butch? That must have set him off.
I don't know. I can't remember. So anyways, Dunn loses. Pretty fun match, but definitely was not a showcase for Dunn. Was for Sheamus.
I hope they continue to put stock in Dunn. Oh,
Dunn. Not convinced.
Dunn should beat Jay.
Ethan Page showed up on Raw to talk with Pierce and Ava. He's pissed and thinks that Punk cost him his match at Bad Blood because Punk was the guest referee. NXT. Sexy Red interrupts and Ethan Page is annoyed. If Page gets a program with Punk, that'd be big for him, right? But
that can't end well.
No, it won't end well. But I'm glad that Sexy Red's involvement was minimal on this and NXT, to be honest.
Still there.
So I put 10-woman tag team match, and then I put in brackets, try to remember who it was.
All right, let me try. I think I saw.
So I watched it, and I'm not sure I'll remember.
Babyface team was
Rave Girls,
Lyra. Maxine, Lyra, Natalia.
Oh, was it Maxine? Was she in there? I don't even remember her being in there, and I watched it.
Heels were
PFC,
Pure Fried Chicken.
Yes.
And the Unholy Union.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Correct.
I don't even watch this.
Pretty much a waste of time. It's got 10 women in it. It got 8 minutes. So nobody got to do much.
That feels Divas era.
Refs lost control. There was some good segments of like, you hit a move, she hits a move, she hits a move, she hits a move, that like in rapid succession. So everyone got a chance to hit that. But no flow, no storytelling, felt really frantic. And it was Lyra hitting Mello's finisher right to Sonya Deville for the win, which I think you were there for, actually.
And like Deville looked like she was waiting for it.
She was. So I have no idea what this accomplished other than handing your heel shooter stable another loss at the hands of a random 5
They also
woman.
look like they forgot their ring gear and like, or like they lost their luggage because
they were all in
like,
just black
street gear. Even Baszler, like Baszler usually has gear. I feel like Stark has kind of wrestled in that before.
So only other thing I mentioned was the main event, which was Gunther successfully defending his title and avenging his previous loss to Sami Zayn. So the only guy that
he thought was on pay-per-view.
The only guy that's pinned him on main roster, he's now pinned him back. So good 17-minute main event. And both guys just doing what they do best, right?
And who came out?
Gunther dominating with simple, logical offense. Sammy just refusing to give in and stay down, including... So this was his second Gunther powerbomb.
I saw.
And he kicked out at 1.
So many people call him Sammy Hogan.
This is AEW type stuff. So again, WWE people, if you really like this, then that's kind of... You know what I mean?
I have seen a lot of people not a fan of it. But
Sammy had a couple good hope spots, but eventually he passed out to Gunther's sleeper. Good match. And then good old Cody comes out to tease the blood money match that's coming up that we won't ever see. So that was it from Raw for me. NXT, we've got show opens with Trick and Sexy Red starting off, and then we've got Wesley. He's in the stands saying that since he cut the dead weight of Wentz, he wants to move on to Trick. And Trick, this got a big reaction. Trick is quick to call him light skin to Wesley, and the crowd is like aghast at this. Wes says
at the very least, NXT does have the diversity that main roster lacks,
and we agree with Wesley because he says Trick ain't it. Yep. And that Lee will take the title from him. Jay, so there's main roster all over this episode of NXT, which is always my favorite. It's because they're trying to pop that rating on the new network still, right? So it's Jey Uso shows up. He and Trick have an annoying segment with fans chanting, "Whoop that Trick and yeet." I don't really want to go into it. So yeah, just the beginning of main roster
appearances. I feel like
Trick
took a second to get his chant going because with like Jay doing that for yeet, it's been established. Where Trick, it's like, the crowd just does it with his theme, but like he had to kind of do like he had to kind of
get them into it. Yeah. Yes. Thoughts on Wesley as a contender?
Yeah, he's good.
He is good. I'm not, and
I'd take him over Trick.
Getting better. I still don't feel like he's a super established heel at this point, but it's getting better. I would take him over Trick as well. Kind of the Trick Williams experiment has run its course for both of us. You before me, but me now as well. So then we get more main roster because it's Belair, Cargill, and Jordan. I don't know what they have in common. Against Pure Fusion Collective. I don't know what they have in common either. It's a team full of black girls against a team full of white girls, we tend to get.
It's not, I didn't get that.
Actually, a solid trios match, 12 minutes long. Belair, again, she's super impressive, man. Like, I don't know. I'm going to say it. She's saddled with Cargill at this point, right? Because Cargill seems to have plateaued. She's learned all she can possibly learn about wrestling, and it's not great. And they used her sparingly in this match, which is smart. Belair and Jade hit their combo finisher, which now I don't even remember what it is.
So the only reason I remember is because I've seen it before, and it was a move that Undisputed Era used to do. It's like, so Belair lifts, I think So Belair does like Cargill's holding her in like a wheelbarrow, and Belair's holding her in like a butterfly DDT. She does the DDT and then like pushes her off as Cargill does the wheelbarrow suplex.
Right. Okay. So
it's a cool move, but it's not a good finisher.
No surprise. They did that to Jasmine Nix, and then that sets up Jordan.
Oh, you said Pure Fusion Collective.
And that sets up Jordan for her...
Fatal Influence.
Split-legged... Oh, yeah, sorry. Wow, wrong random faction. Yes, not PFC. Sorry, Fatal Influence. My mistake.
I was so confused.
Sorry. So Jasmine Nix takes the split-legged moonsault after the combo finisher.
One of a kind. Split-legged moonsault.
Good pace, very predictable match. Randy Orton tells Nathan Frazier that being a hothead can be beneficial, and Axiom does not like he is thrilled with the advice. Randy Orton looks humongous now.
He is.
I think he's like 300 pounds or something, apparently.
He's been beefing up.
And with these two little guys talking to him, right? It's like he looks huge.
I saw some posts, I think it was from Theory and Waller, where one of them's wearing a Power Ranger suit and the other one's dressed as Kurt Cobain because,
he does look like him.
I'll find it. It's pretty funny.
So Orton, because he's going to face Javon Evans in the main event.
Yeah, there's that.
Nice. He asks how fast Evans is, and Axiom says Evans might be the fastest, and you can catch a glimpse of Fraser not being thrilled with
I think
that
that's just even a weird thing to say just because I don't think Evans is known for being fast. He's known for being bouncy.
Right.
There's a difference.
Correct. And no doubt he's quick and stuff, but he's not like Nathan Fraser.
Fraser's undoubtedly quicker.
Correct. I agree.
I feel like it was just in service.
And my question here is this the slowest burn of a tag team breakup ever? Because it's been nonstop.
I feel like they teased it too early, and that's
they've
why
almost never been on the same page the whole time they've been together, despite both
they're
being
like
baby faces.
When they still do
front runner for tag team of the year, I'd say
easily.
Okay, so then we get Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade get an in-ring segment. Cora Jade still sounds awful. I won't get into what she said. Generic stuff sounds really bad. A lot of it about... And then Perez is like, Julia was supposed to be the one to defeat me, but it didn't happen. Another flavor of the month, couldn't get the job done, basically. And that she's reignited an old friendship with Cora Jade for some reason. They've been able to bury their differences.
Because now their alignments match up again. Heels.
Yeah.
It's like when they're both baby faces, they're friends. Yeah. And now that their alignments match again, they can be friends.
Reunited. So no one talked about Jade while she was gone, so she's mad now. And Perez sort of admits at one point that she should have listened to Cora Jade's heel advice sooner. Julia comes out. Vakur joins her. The baby faces clear the ring. And then they both...
this tag for the next PLE, and then you don't have a women's title match, I guess?
And then they both picked up Perez's title at the same time. Ooh. So you've got Vakur and Julia both holding it. They're
well-documented best friends. So.
Super deep women's division. Like, super deep. From like really, really good down to like inexperienced kind of at the bottom. There's a ton of women in this division, right? So the Perez-Jade alliance seems really forced, other than like, hey, you're both heels. We want to get on TV, so you're together now.
Are Vakur and Julia of a similar background?
No. Vakur, they are. Oh, so we're breaking from it here. How, is that even allowed? Are they allowed to be friends?
It's like
Julia's Italian, Japanese.
Can they coexist?
And Vakur,
She's Chilean or something, right?
So can they coexist? Right? Different nationalities /
and they
races?
Want the belt?
I don't know. Don't know if it can work.
It's a bad smoothie.
Ren Sinclair is going to be Vakur's first opponent, and in a weird sort of change, Dempsey's like impressed and like, this is what we need. You guys need to be more like her. So it's they flipped from.
Didn't she just lose the
Heights
title match
and
recently?
Bourne being the one that are like into Ren and Dempsey resisting to now like Dempsey's just suddenly fully on board for no real reason. But anyways, Lexis King then is asking Dempsey. This was dumb too. He's like, he wants to try and not cheat. So he asked Dempsey for a match type where they can't cheat. So Dempsey suggests some gentleman's whatever and it has rounds in it. And so Lexis King is like, nope, I don't want it if it has rounds. And then
Heritage Cup.
No, a different
but
kind.
Like rounds.
I know.
Still, like...
So then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a gentleman's thing. Then I'm in. So I didn't get this. And
what is he doing?
Lexis King looks like an airbrushed, photoshopped, living, breathing human being. It is crazy. If you see his facial hair and stuff.
I have. He looks like wild. The Giga Chad meme or something.
As we feared, Tony D'Angelo did become the new North American champion by defeating Oba Femi in 13 minutes. I actually really like this match. Really slow to start. I was questioning it. Femi had like a lengthy side headlock and then a lengthy like backbreaker submission where he's just bending him over his knee. Then things picked up, and honestly, Tony D'Angelo told a really good story here. It's too bad he's saddled with this gimmick because he can tell a good story, I think. He refused to use a crowbar that Stax had introduced in the match. At one point, Femi's on the floor basically giving flirty looks to Rizzo. And then he accidentally takes her out, and this like triggered Tony into taking over the match. He hit an impressive belly-to-belly overhead to Femi on the ramp. Later, a spine buster through the announce table. And then Tony slipped out of another choke. I think he got choke slammed on the apron earlier. He slips out of a choke slam in the ring, catches Femi with a sunset flip, and really stacks him up for a somewhat believable quick pinfall there. I really like this match. I thought it was quite good. Another feather in the cap of Oba Femi, right? Who is an inexperienced dude, but seems to put on good matches. Lola Vice is backstage somewhere talking to Ava about facing Jada Parker, because believe it or not, Jack, they could not coexist.
What?
Hard to believe. So, and you saw this, who returns to interrupt? Women's division. Not a big fan. People love her, we don't. Blonde lady.
It's coming to me.
Wow, you're dumb.
Dupree?
No. Who's been gone, gets hurt every time she returns in NXT.
Oh, Lyons?
Yeah.
Really?
Nikita Lyons.
I didn't see that, honestly.
She interrupts, they exchange words, and Ava decides that Vice will be Lyons' first opponent. So I don't even know who you have win there. I'm thinking it's shenanigans, no decision, something.
Yeah, it seems like you booked
because you're going to halt Vice's momentum? I don't know. Anyways, Lyons and Jade both back at once. Hooray. Although this women's division is humongous at this point, right? Looks like Lash and Jakara Jackson will be heading to SmackDown to face Belair and Cargill. I put, we won't see it, don't care.
I think I got cut off by Kevin Owens.
Fraxium retained the tag titles after defeating Waller and Theory. Pretty good 12-minute tag match. The heels had a couple miscommunications in the match. The only thing of note that I'll mention is really cool finishing sequence. Theory accidentally takes a golden ratio, ends up outside the ring. Then I think it was Fraser. It was like a double knuckle lock into a destroyer to Waller that looked really cool. Then straight into the the Spanish fly from Axiom, 450 from Fraser for the win. Really good heel face dynamic, right? Because Waller and Theory are just despicable, easy to hate, right? Kind of like Logan Paul. They have that natural, like,
they would be a good trio.
They would. Good tag match. And again, Fraxium front runners for tag team of the year, right? And that's great for them. That's an NXT team.
But it also kind of underscores how lacking
weak tag wrestling is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more painful in AEW, but it's an epidemic right now.
I found it odd in a segment backstage that now Riley Osborne is being presented as one of the people who always supported Ridge Holland. So it's like they're lumping him in with Thea Hale, who was always the one, but Riley and Duke Hudson were the ones that were like skeptical of Ridge.
Shouldn't it be Chase in that role?
Right. And so now it's just like, no, Riley's been supportive the whole time.
They're flipping him and Dempsey.
They are. And so I guess we're getting another Osborne Ridge match, I assume, where Ridge, I would imagine, wins again because Riley Osborne doesn't win and Ridge is getting a major push, it feels like. So looks like that's what's happening.
I also have always loved Ridge Holland, as is well documented on the show.
Something that made me happy is we caught a glimpse of cool Ethan Page. He interrupted Sexy Red, who interrupted him on Raw, right? So he sounded much better than he has so far on NXT. He's going on about how the place is falling apart since he lost the title. He should be the one facing Orton, and it should be for the title he never lost. And he's not going to leave the ring until he gets his rematch. Javon Evans comes out, clears the ring, clears Page out of the ring. And A, I liked Page's tone here a lot better. And B, he stopped Sexy Reds from doing things. So that's always good. Main event, Orton missed his RKO moment, right?
Yeah, I thought that. I feel like, because I've seen it a couple times now, it's definitely Evans got like a bit of I think a half rotation too much.
Yes.
But in their defense, it's a really hard spot to line up. So I admire them trying, and Orton kind of covered it pretty quick.
So then Orton just kind of picked him up,
drilled him with an RKO,
and we moved on. Orton's super plotting, but I thought Evans did a really good job of selling, especially he took 4 belly to back sort of suplexes onto the announce table with the 4th one having a little extra stink on it. Huge super kick into a really nice giant top rope springboard cutter from Evans for a really good near fall. Solid match. Evans continues to prove he can hang. Orton's boring to watch. Evans exciting. So it ended up to average out to being kind of decent overall. And then Ava announces next week will be Ethan Page versus Wesley versus Javon Evans. Whoever wins will face Trick at Halloween Havoc for the title. So I don't know.
I feel like it has to be Wesley since we've done Ethan Page a couple times.
Yeah, I guess. But I know Page... We'll see what happens. It probably Wesley.
It's not Javon, because last time they pretended to do a Javon singles match
and he hasn't been winning lately either. Yeah. He's been sort of like losing a bit. I did watch TNA, some of it. Sol Ruka, Wendy Chu are still there. They opened the show in a 6-woman tag. Masha Soul and Jordan Grace defeated Chu. Grace pin steals with the Juggernaut. Masha and Grace teased tension after the match. I told you it's leading to a match between them. Josh Alexander's doing some cool heel work, has aligned himself with Sinner and Saint.
Northern Armory.
You're right, Northern Armory. Kind of a fresh faction to me that I'm interested in.
If only there was a really cool North-related theme song they could use.
Crazy. Unfortunately, though, Alexander's stuck in a program with Eric Young.
Yeah, so that's not I guess you got to start somewhere.
And Alexander cut a promo on Young that I mostly agreed with, right? Like, you're old, what have you done, blah, 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 sort of thing. Ash by Elegance is giving someone a makeover, and it's Heather Reckless. I don't know who that is. They were just showing the back of her. And then the only other thing is Slater. What's his first name?
Leon.
His 450 Swanton is cool. It's awesome. So he won an X Division triple threat and will face Bayley.
I think we mentioned it before, but like the time it takes to do the Swanton motion
looks awesome.
But like then you have less time to rotate for the 450, which makes it impressive, but also more velocity for the impact.
Right. It looked cool.
So it does kind of make sense.
It looks very cool. I don't think I've seen anyone else do it.
Jeff Hardy used to do a 450, but it wasn't a Swanton.
So that's it for notable stuff. I guess we're going to preview some Wrestledream, that's happening soon. So we'll do that. We'll pause here because I need to plug in this laptop before it dies, and we will preview AEW Wrestledream. All right, so I haven't put a ton of thought in it, but I did do a little bit this morning.
Tried.
So talk to me.
I'm on the wrong document. So for the 0 hour, it's some real barn burners.
Mm-hmm.
We got Atlantis Jr. defending the ROH TV title against Brian Cage. I'd love for a win by Drill Claw, but I doubt it, so I'm going to take Mask Guy.
I'll take Cage just because, like, what has this guy having the championship done really for them? Do you know what I mean?
Freed Fletcher, I guess. I don't know.
So maybe it's going to be switch it up and give Cage something to do because they seem to like him to some degree. So I'll just go out on a limb and take Cage.
All right. Harley Cameron versus Anna Jay. I'm taking Anna Jay via the Thigh of Doom.
Okay, I'll take Anna Jay too. I don't know how we got here or why it matters, but it better be quick.
I thought they were affiliated, but
that could be a disaster. That could be like a worst match candidate. We should keep our eye on that.
That is true, but
it might be worth watching for that reason.
We'll have to go back to it because I'll be an hour late.
Right. Maybe I'll watch it without you. We'll see.
How dare you? Maximum Male Models or MXM collection versus the Acclaimed. It has to be the Acclaimed.
I'm going to go with Acclaim just because they are actually featured on Dynamite sometimes, not very often, but MXM we haven't seen at all.
It's a Collision Feud or Rampage or something.
As a Dynamite viewer, I don't even know MXM exists, to be honest.
Hologram versus Mordos in 2 or 3 falls, which should be pretty cool.
Should be awesome.
Hologram's undefeated, meanwhile Mordos seldom gets solo wins.
Yes.
He did just form a new group, so I'd love for him to win. There's a chance, but Hologram's just way more likely, so I'm going with that.
Hologram, they've been pushing this undefeated streak. It's Tony Khan's childhood creation. I don't think Mortos is the one to stop the
I'd love
streak.
it, but
and I think Mortos gets a fall for
absolutely.
Sure. And he's going to look amazing, and this could be a really fun match. It's not on pre-show, or it is?
No.
It's on the main show? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we will watch it.
May versus Willow for the women's title. May's run's still relatively new, and they didn't give us the time to build as I'd hoped. I love them both, and I don't doubt the match will deliver because, again, they're great.
They're both good.
But I wish it had been saved for Full Gear so we have more time to get invested in it. May retains.
I agree.
Willow could beat her, but this isn't the time.
Not exactly the way things have been presented.
It's exactly how I feel about Private Party.
It's not happening now. Yeah. And May is a great heel. She just got the title, so she's done nothing wrong. So it's not time for Willow yet, unfortunately.
Darby versus Brody King. I'm going to take Darby because it seems like he's on the way up, and King's hardly a single star right now. Plus, I think after losing to Moxley, Darby needs to win here, especially if we want to kind of finally build him up. Another loss here would hurt him. We always say he's the guy who can take losses, but this is a time where he shouldn't.
I'm taking Brody King.
I figured you were.
And I don't know. So you just said it. Losses do not hurt Darby Allin at all.
I think this is the time where they are going to.
I think we're getting Brody King wins. Julia Hart comes back. We're going to circle into a Brody King and Malachi Black for leadership of the House of Black if they start focusing on House of Black.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So I think maybe they're going to try Brody King with a bit of a singles run here. And I think Hart maybe comes back and helps him win this match. So I'm going to take King. I'm not super confident.
That's a gamble and a half.
I also think we talked about it in the Dynamite review, the dynamic of this match, Brody King murdering Darby Allin for 15 minutes should be so fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch.
It's going to be great. So I'll take King. I'll go out on that limb.
All right, that's fair. We got Hangman versus Switchblade. It's a bit of a tough one for me. I love both these guys, but more to the point for predictions, I feel like there's a good reason for both of them to win. I feel like Hangman's been on his post All Out swing, but he's still on a roll in this angry heel persona, and it would do him well to win. However, Switchblade's hot off a return, and losing right off the bat would do him no favors. So I'm not fully confident, but I'm leaning towards Switchblade, and I'm going to take him because I feel like you shouldn't have him come back and just lose, right? And Hangman, it's fine, I think, if he loses. I say he wins, we can brush this feud off unless we want a Full Gear rematch.
Yeah.
I think at least White wins this one.
I'll take Hangman. I just don't think they're going to have babyface Jay White beat super mega villain right now.
I could see
Hangman Page. So
I could see it going either way.
I don't feel like they feel about White the way we do or something like that. So I'll take Page on this one.
Next we got Perry versus Shibata. for the TNT title.
Easy.
I love me some Shibata, but he doesn't stand a chance here. Perry wins probably via shenanigans, hopefully to protect Shibata a bit.
Yeah, it's Perry winning here. Shibata is a non-presence on TV, and Perry is part of a main faction, so Perry's winning.
Briscoe versus Jericho for the ROH World title. I'm begging for the love of God, do not make Chris Jericho ROH champion again.
Or does he just stay there and get buried there?
No, this brand's already as dead as it is. We have Dustin Rhodes occupying 2 belts.
Right.
Briscoe has to win here. Just please.
Don't. Yeah, I'm taking Briscoe to win as well. My only hope would be if Jericho wins, then you're relegated to Ring of Honor and you're. But even then,
Dynamite. I feel like he would just take the title away from Ring of Honor.
Probably would. So yeah, Briscoe retains. I'll take that.
Young Bucks versus Private Party for the tag titles. I do think Private Party is a good contender to dethrone the Bucks, but they rushed this match into existence. If we can build to a Full Gear rematch, like I was saying before, put some more effort in, I think they could do it. Private Party could beat them, just not here, so I'm taking the Bucks.
Agree. I think that they've done such a poor job of building Private Party. If they were to beat the Bucks here, it would be a big disconnect. Like it would
have to be another time.
It would feel like it came out of nowhere. So I agree. They could build them into beating them, but I don't think this is the time or place.
Absolutely. Then we get Ospreay versus Takeshita versus Ricochet for the international title. Probably my most anticipated match. Like I'm hoping that's open, so then I don't have to wait that long.
I hope so too. I feel like
just because it's a killer opener. It's either this or hologram, I think.
Right.
Is probably what I'm betting on. But much like All Out, we walk into a multi-man match, and I'm going all in on Takeshita. We live by TOE here.
We do.
With this, too, I think we have more of a story heading in, which gives me some increased confidence Takeshita wins. Maybe Callis will screw Ospreay, maybe not. And like they could hold off for a singles match with Takeshita and Ospreay. But like I'm saying, I don't think you can keep prolonging Takeshi's moment. I feel like last year we thought he was going to break out, and they kind of held off on it. They've been holding off on it for most of this year. Like he lost to Ospreay. He was gone for the G1, right? He didn't win the ladder match at Forbidden Door. Like I feel like, and he didn't win it all out. Obviously, I feel like they've been holding off, and I feel like you can't do that. And so I feel like he can win here and steal the win off of Ricochet, which kind of protects Ospreay. Ospreay can gun for a rematch at Full Gear, which sets up a match for the next one. So it has to be Takeshi's moment. If he doesn't win here, I'm gonna be furious and I will punch something tonight. But it's Takeshi's time, and I'm so excited.
I am also taking Takeshita. I think that that's the route it goes. That Callis, it needs to bolster his group and his
worth, even like as a manager,
having a champion, a significant champion with him. And yes, I think it leads to a singles rematch with Ospreay and Takeshita, which you can like build that strong, hopefully, before that. So I'm with you. I think it's Takeshita.
So excited for him to finally.
I hope your mother's not asleep when Takeshita wins. Because you'll be waking her up.
Absolutely. Because I just think about there are wrestlers I like better than Takeshita, and probably Ospreay is one of them, but
he gets all the love he needs, right? Takeshita is
that, and it feels like Takeshi's been like a discovery.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of came in randomly, and
like
you fell in love with him.
He looks cool. Oh, he had a good match. Oh, there's another good match, and he has a crazy moveset, and it's just like
I feel like it's like the wrestling equivalent of Love at First Sight. Like it's been the whole time, and it feels like I've been waiting for this to happen for so long.
He's cool,
especially with the heartbreak of All Out,
and he hasn't been thrown in a faction of all Japanese guys yet.
That's credit crazy. To Callis. He goes diverse. All right. Does. You got Takeshita, you got Hobbs, Guevara for a time, Ospreay, Trent, if he's still alive, Roosh.
Leave it to the good Canadian guy to be a tolerant person.
Exactly.
Mixing all people together.
Yeah. On paper, I'm just super excited for that match because all three guys are insane, and to finally see Takeshi's moment
should be really
will
fun
be
match.
Amazing. If I might cry either way, honestly.
Some of the anti-air moves that Takeshita could hit in this could be really fun.
Could be insane.
Yep.
And then we go to our main event, which will be Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley for the world title. It's a little risky, I feel, but I'm going to bet on Moxley. It would cut Danielson's run short, which is the risky part of this. But I don't think he's destined to be long anyways. Like, he's clearly physically ailing from some things we've heard. He's guaranteed to have surgery soon. Like, we can't expect this to go long anyways. So I feel like this is a good time to cut it off because Moxley makes all the sense in the world here. As AEW's losing out on one of the best we've ever known, Moxley's proven to be someone dependable who can steady the ship in this time, right?
He's
I think losing Danielson is a big hit, right? Because obviously they'll have him in backstage facets, but just on screen, he's so great at pretty much anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think having Moxley as champion for a temporary period would be beneficial to them, because he's proven before, like when they needed someone to go to, he was the guy they went to, and that'll work out, right? And he is playing with history with Danielson, and if he wins, he accomplishes his goal, which I think would be great, because I feel like the heels don't always get that done. So I would really like to see that. And then he can go on a tear for a few months and continue this great run he's been on, I think, since he came back. And then I think Darby Allin should be the one to beat him, which would be a big moment for him. So I think it's beneficial in a couple senses. I'm not fully confident, but I'm leaning towards him. And I could even see a Yuta turn here. But I'm going to lean towards Mox.
I'm taking Danielson.
I figured you were.
Mostly because if Danielson... They have not played up this could be Danielson's last match at all.
They played that up with every match.
They haven't really at all, though. Like, this is the greatest chance of this guy being done forever, and they really not hitting that note at all. So I think my fear is Moxley loses, Shane shows up, and that's going to provide them with the whatever they need for him to beat Danielson later down the road, possibly.
If Mox is here though, and I feel like you have to go with someone else, and then I don't know what you do.
I don't either, but they'll maybe have an idea for that. I don't know where you go from. Do you go to heel Hangman off of the momentum from beating Jay White on this show?
Hangman also has history with Danielson,
right? So
you could go back to the well with Darby.
Yes.
Who else? Does Omega come back?
I just think if Danielson's losing, they would have made a bigger deal of this as potentially his last match, blah, blah, blah. Everybody get ready because he's going to be retired after this.
That's fair.
And they have not rung that bell at all.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to my guns.
Okay, so I'm going to stick to it. We got a lot of different picks on this. True. I like that. That's fun.
I just, honestly, I don't even care. I need one result to go right.
Takeshita.
That's the one, honestly. I do say Toe as a joke. I
should have picked against it just to spite you, but you would have been furious.
I do say Toe as a joke, but genuinely, like, if there's one thing I want to happen, it's that.
Takeshita.
And like you were saying, like, just because Ospreay, everyone knows Ospreay is great, but like Takeshita, people are only waking up.
They are. So that wraps up that. You said you did want to talk figuring for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll talk a bit.
Okay, so we'll move into our final segment this week where Jack updates us on the world of wrestling action figures. It's Figuring It Out with Jack. All right, sir. Go ahead. You got to get to work, so.
The only thing I had was the new AEW series is supposedly shipping out.
Okay.
Which there's timely to something we were talking about is there's Julia Hart.
Okay.
Cassie in black. Like I said, he's got the backpack. It was supposed to have a zipper on it. I don't know if it still does.
Oh, the backpack?
Yeah, the backpack gimmick.
Gotcha.
And both guns, which look pretty good. I'd like to get them at some point because, you know, the whole then I could have Bang Bang Gang.
They've won us over.
No Juice though. He doesn't have a figure yet.
That's
working on
unacceptable.
Both Hardys. I guess their figures are still in production.
Gross.
Yeah. The Chase Cassie's a blue one, and then the other Chase I told you is like a Takeshita.
Nice.
Which I was like, it sucks. It's the less hard one to get, so hopefully I can find it, and then I'll get it in a Defender case.
Yeah.
Cherish it
keep
forever.
it forever.
I'll open the one I get from
It'll
Ringside.
only go up in value forever and ever.
And I'll get it signed someday.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it?
That is pretty much it.
All right. So that's going to bring us to the end of episode 221. Hopefully Wrestledream is awesome and we're excited to talk about it. We come down early. If not, it'll be sewn on to the front of episode 222. We'll talk about everything else we usually do as well as that. It'll be next Saturday. We'll be back here. We hope to see you there too. Until then, everybody, take care.